June 22nd, 2021, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. As such, we kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum as if we were meeting in person. Finally, for those calling in, please ensure that you have muted your phone line by pressing *6. We appreciate your cooperation. 3 times a year, we recognize, let me just see something. Yeah, okay. 3 times a year, we recognize state champions from Franklin County and surrounding area high schools. Today, we're here to celebrate the high school athletes that excelled this season in their spring sport of track, lacrosse, tennis, or baseball. It's always a privilege to partner with the Greater Columbus Sports Commission and the Ohio High School Athletic Association to recognize these outstanding student athletes. Welcome to all the athletes, their coaches, and the families that are with us this morning. To kick things off, please allow me to introduce our good friend, Executive Director of the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, Linda Hogan. Linda?
Good morning, commissioners. Happy to see everyone, especially our new commissioner, Commissioner Lee. Great to see you.
Wait, Linda, does that mean you're not happy to see John and I as much as you're happy to see her?
Both of you, all 3 of you, but just a special
I'm just saying,
right?
I'm sure John picked that up just like I did, Linda. So
I heard it.
I won't even feel any certain way about that.
Linda, thank you for the lovely greeting.
Thank you. It's so great to see you all. Again, as mentioned by Commissioner Boyce, it's a special time of year that we get to recognize all of our state champions from Central Ohio. And the spring season, we have lots of those. So without any further ado, I do think that the Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Doug Ute, is probably on here, and I'm going to kick it over to him to say hello. Well,
Linda, I'm actually not seeing Doug in the meeting yet this morning.
All right. Let's continue then. I know that Commissioner Boyce, you have a great list of all of our champions that have worked very, very hard. Their coaches, their athletic directors, families. I know I'm very proud of them, and I think I'll let you take it from here.
Great. Thank you so much again, Linda, for all that you do in bringing us together in this momentous occasion each year. I know, especially for Commissioner O'Grady and I, who participated in this over the years, this is one of those exciting moments, and I'm sure Commissioner Tyler Lee will enjoy this experience as well. With that, let's start by allowing the coaches or the representatives to unmute your mic when we call on your school. Please introduce yourself, share a few words about your season, and then most importantly, introduce your team. If there are 1 or 2 athletes available to highlight their season, please feel free to allow them to speak and tell us a little bit about their senior year or their year, not necessarily their senior year. And if the seniors, those of you who are graduating, we would absolutely love to hear what you're doing after high school. So let's get started in recognizing these fine student athletes. First up, we have Bexley High School's 400-meter dash champion. That's some serious stuff right there. So who's here from Bexley? Is that Shane Roberts? That my friend Shane Roberts, I see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Live and from Minnesota. So
what's up, Coach?
Hey, Coach.
What's up, Mason? How you doing? So we had a great season this year. We one of the goals for our coaching staff was to make sure we honor those seniors that didn't get to compete last year. And in doing so, I think Mason did a wonderful job this year as a younger athlete leading our team. And Mason, you can go ahead and talk about your season, bud.
It was a great season. Me and my friends, we worked really hard every single day. We just worked hard, and the results show. And we had a good time. Really felt like a family this year. And yeah, that's about it.
What was your time, Mason?
I ran a 47.5.
That's
I think Commissioner Boyce can run like a 47, 48. You might have to race it.
Okay.
Well, just for the record, it should be noted that I ran a 46 back in the day. That was college though, Mason. That was college.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Not in high school. I did not run I didn't even run a 47 in high school. So,
Okay.
so that's outstanding, young man. So, have you graduated? Are you in
I'm
college?
going to my junior.
You're going into your junior year?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's insane. That is ridiculous. And tell us about your grades. Grades are all good. What's going on
Grades are
there?
definitely good. Got to stay on top of those. It's student athlete.
That's
All
right.
right. That's good news.
I love it. I love
Keep
it.
it up. We want to see you back here next year, Mason. And
For
a year
sure.
after that.
Yeah, for multiple events next year though.
All right.
It should be noted, guys at that age running a 47. I mean, that suggests Olympic caliber, because he can get that much better. I mean, that is a very fast time for that kind of age. So I'm just saying, for those track aficionados out there, Mason, I ran college track. My son currently runs college track, Division I, both Division I athletes. So I think I know a tiny bit about track. So congratulations and good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, Mason.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Bishop Watterson High School's girls 4x2, one of my favorite events, and the 4x4, my absolute favorite event, relays. So both state champions. So Bishop Watterson. Who's on from Bishop Watterson?
I am here, trying to get the video to start.
I find it helps if you pound on the computer. That usually, you just hit it a few times. There you go.
All right, here we are. Hello. Yeah, we had a
Coach,
really
can you
good season.
introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you introduce yourself, Coach?
Oh, sorry. I'm Coach Adam Kessler. This is Anna Kessler, one of my athletes, and I got a few other athletes on this call. And I'm sure they might pipe up at some point. But yeah, our girls had a really good season this year. One of our goals was to really get all 4 of our relays going well, and we did. We got them all to the state meet. But our sprint relays were just really talented this year. Our 4x1, 4x2, 4x4. I think I can count on one hand combined how many races that they did not get first place the entire season. That's how good this group was. We had 6 girls between the 4x2 and the 4x4. Anna, Grace Jenkins, who's a senior, Kaylin O'Reilly, who's a senior, Aaron Connors, who's a senior, Jordan Morales is a junior, and Sydney Workman is a sophomore. Sydney, Anna, Kaylin, and Grace were on the 4x2. And then the 4x4 was Grace, Aaron, Kaylin, and Jordan Morales. But it was a lot of fun watching these girls compete. And, just what Bexley had said, with these girls being seniors, we really wanted to have a great season, and they certainly did that. It was it was great to watch. So
that's outstanding. How about the seniors that are on here? Anybody want to talk about what their next steps are? Great, Grace, you're the only one I can see on screen, so I'm gonna call you out.
Oh, I will be attending the University of Colorado Boulder next year.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other seniors? You guys going to plan on going to college next year? Maybe run or maybe not run?
Kaylin, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to the University of Cincinnati, and I don't think I'm going to run for them, but I haven't completely decided.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
I'll speak for Anna's battling a cold, which, as my athletes know, I'm a germaphobe, and so being this close to someone who's got a cold really bugs me. But Anna's going to William and Mary. She'll be running track next year.
Very nice.
Grace and Kaylin both have the potential to run track, and I've talked with them a little bit if they wanted to pursue it. You mentioned grades earlier. 3 of these 6 athletes, well, 3 of the 4 seniors, I believe, were class valedictorians. So we had a wicked smart group of girls this year, which I think helped with our relays and everything, especially since the 4x2. I think I switched the order up halfway through, and I switched our handoffs, how we did our handoffs halfway through the season. And the other thing I'll point out is we don't have a track at Watterson. So we might be able to get on track maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and we really have to take advantage of what we do there. Otherwise, we're on the football field practicing handoffs or doing whatever we can do to try to better ourselves. And before this year, we had one state champion in the girls' school history, and this year we were able to get 2 of them to be able to double that, which was pretty incredible for these group of kids.
Great accomplishment, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Kaylin, we're a UC family here. Go Bearcats. My son just graduated, and I have a son who just graduated from Hilliard-Davidson. He's on his way to University of Cincinnati to study mechanical engineering. So a lot of UC connections here in this family. So good luck to you, and go Bearcats.
Thank you.
To Kaylin, Grace, and Anna, I just want to offer my congratulations to you for a stellar season, both athletically and academically. I
That's
have a
great.
special place in my heart for strong women, and just applaud all of your accomplishments to date and those yet to come. So thank you for representing us well.
Thank you.
And as a fellow CCL Silver Knighter, I echo Commissioner Tyler Lee's sentiments. Great job, ladies, and also go Eagles.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Next, we've got Columbus Afrocentric High School boys 4x2 meter relay and boys long jump champion. Afrocentric.
Yes, I'm here. Coach Marcus Vaughn.
Hey,
Hi, Coach.
Hey, how you doing? Just to speak about the guys' season, I just want to start just saying COVID really affected those guys a lot. Starting at the end of basketball season this year, they had to not participate in the state tournament. So it kind of helped my track program because I had a lot of guys that were hungry to compete, and they felt like they didn't get to finish out the season where they felt like they could have won a state championship. So I had a lot of guys that was invested early. And also with COVID, it took the 2020 track season away from us as well, where I had a group of about 8 seniors who had to miss out on their senior season. So subsequently this year, I only had 4 seniors. And one of them is a double state champ. So I wanted to speak on him first. His name is Justin Fudge. He would have been my first 4-year track kid. He came to me as a freshman from boys prep, really hungry, set on changing the culture of the school. We normally don't get kids like Justin at Afrocentric. He's an academic and an athlete at the same time. We call him Coach Fudge because he's, like I said, you could change a handoff. He'll practice hard. He'll run through a wall for you. And with him, he'll understand it fully. He's not a kid that's going to run through a wall just because it's a wall. He's going to understand that the wall is going to break, what's on the other side of the wall. And, I'm very, very excited about him being able to end this season with this magnitude. First of all, he's the first 2-time state champion in school history. We just had our first state champions 2 years ago in 2019 in high jump and 300-meter hurdles. So, and he was a part of that relay team that placed 6th at state, and he was set on winning. I think from the beginning, after that season concluded in 2019, he was set on winning. And it kind of showed coming into state, he was ranked 11th in the long jump, and he won it. And one thing that he told me is he wanted to lead from the front. He wanted to put the pressure on those guys. So his first jump ended up being this jump that won the state title for him. He jumped 21 feet, 11 inches, and he won it by ½ of an inch. So, it's just a testament, that kid is very blessed, and I'm very, very happy for him. Before I allow him to speak, I just wanted to let Justin know that I'm very, very proud of him. And if you want to speak, Justin, you go ahead. He's on the call.
Hello, I'm Justin Fudge. What I want to say is thank you, Coach Vaughn. I appreciate everything you've done for me and all the opportunities I've gotten throughout these years and the season. But I would like to speak on the season overall. Throughout the season, it was like very like difficult and hard for me. I feel like it was a lot of pressure, but I feel like also I could step up as a senior, as a captain, and lead our team in different areas because I had the most experience. The thing, a goal I had as a freshman was to, make change, a big like difference. I want to do things that others have not done in our school, and I honestly feel like throughout the season and at the end of it all, I feel like I completed that goal, and I wanted to just acknowledge all my teammates who's also ran with me throughout the years, like Spence. He's up next. He's an upcoming senior. He has a lot of potential. He's our next captain after me, and I know he's going to like do the same thing I did, but better. I feel like he's going to grow. He's going to help this team. He's going to help our program, and he's just going to keep on being great as the teammate I know he is. So I would like to pass the torch to Spence. So if you want to speak, you can.
Standing.
Hello, I'm Spence. I'm an upcoming junior at Afrocentric. What I wanted to say about this season was my freshman year when Justin and Coach Braun and Shaman and others went to states. I was like the alternate for the relay. Like, so if anybody was to get injured, I was to run. And I mean, that's a good experience for a freshman that I was at that time to go and actually get to see it. But that just made me feel like I'm good enough to run here. And it kind of made me hungrier for the next season. And then once I hit sophomore year and that season was taken away from me, it was just like a blur of everything. Like, I didn't know what to do. So by the time my junior year came, it was just like, I was like hungrier than ever for that. So by that time, it was just like, and then we got new people like Dan and Josiah that just came onto the scene unexpectedly. That really helped us with our relay. So I just feel like this year was really an eye opener for everybody in our division, just to see that three of our four state runners is coming back next year. So I just feel like that's a big part for our team. And it just makes everybody hungrier because we just feel like we still have a chance at it next year. And I feel like I still have a chance in my open events next year too.
And just as if I could add, I would just say that group that Josiah, Daniel, Kalen, and Justin, that 4x2 didn't lose all year. They no invitationals. They didn't lose, and they were the city champ, district champ, regional champs, and state champs. The first time that's been done in school history as well. So it's a pleasure coaching these guys, and I just want to echo, even through the pandemic and the thing, it's ways to motivate your kids and find ways to keep them active and engaged. And that's how we were able to become state champs this year in the long jump and the 4x2. Thank you, guys.
Outstanding. I'm curious, Justin, what's next for you, Justin?
Next, I will be attending Tiffin University for track and football. I got 2 scholarships for that, and academic scholarship also. I have other scholarships as well, but I'm committed to Tiffin University for track and football.
Congratulations, outstanding.
Kalen, Justin, congratulations, fantastic season. Very impressive what you guys were able to accomplish this year. Justin, being the first person in the school's history to do what you've done is a fantastic accomplishment. But the other thing that you've done is you've set the bar high for those to follow you. And so while you've had a fantastic personal achievement, you've also set the bar high for those coming in your footsteps. And that is also something to be very, very proud of, that there are now those coming behind you that will be shooting to be the next Justin Fudge. So congratulations, young man.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it.
I got one more thing to say. I wanted to thank Coach Braun and Coach Fudge, because if it wasn't for them two and one other, I would have stopped running track my freshman year. My freshman year, I was done with track after the season. I was like, I'm not gonna run track no more. I just wasn't feeling it. But thanks to Fudge and Coach Braun, them the two that really stayed on me about staying on track and keeping in the books and whatnot. So I would like to thank Fudge and Coach Braun for that.
I'm glad you did
Kaylin
that.
took the words right out of my mouth. I wanted to acknowledge Coach Vaughn and all the coaches on this call today and really across our community who pour into our young people on and off the field. Coaches are, I would say, our unsung heroes who are role models and mentors and sponsors and advisors to our young people and often don't get the recognition that they deserve. So to Coach Vaughn and all the other coaches, thank you for what you do to build up our young men and women. And to Justin and Kaylin, I'd just like to congratulate you. I am a proud graduate of Columbus City Schools, and you represent our district with excellence. And I just applaud you for that. Thank you.
Outstanding. All right, we're going to keep it moving. Thanks, guys. I hope you stay on too for a little bit. I do want to recognize Doug Ute from the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and Doug, we'll let you say some comments at the end with us, but let's go ahead and get through these athletes, if you don't mind. Next, we've got Dublin Kaufman High School's girls lacrosse team.
Good morning. I'm Coach Mike Murphy, and I have with me a couple of my assistant coaches, Stephen McGuire, Emily Violanek, and Emily Gulliver. And similar to the other athletes and coaches, first, congratulations to all of them this year on their achievements, and thank you, commissioners, for having us here. We're very proud this year. Our girls, having, like the other spring sports, losing last year, made this year even more special. On our team, we had only a couple girls that were returning that had even played a varsity game previously. So when we talked to our seniors said our mantra, and especially in the spring, it's a challenge. Make sure we play to the end. Enjoy the season, have fun, play to the end. And that was their mantra the whole way, and try to get better each game. And that's one thing. I have a couple of my players here, a few of the underclassmen, Lily Holmes, Kara Hendricks, and Kira Jose, as well as a couple of my seniors here who really set the bar high. Some of the other comments that were made here, this was the first time a Dublin Kaufman girls lacrosse team that made the Final Four, as well as had won a state championship under Ohio High School. So it was a very special year for us. It was also special because teams that we lost to early in the season didn't do as well against. We came back and we were able to redeem ourselves, which showed we kept continuing to grow with that. So now I'd like to recognize, I have a couple of my seniors on here that were very instrumental in leading the team. And again, being a team sport, these three were very much into more about the team. We became a family, not the individual accolades, but how does the team get better and move forward? With that, the first one's Olivia Schaefer. I think I saw Olivia on here, but I'll give her a second to see if she's here to pop on. Olivia, are you here? I know a couple are trying to join. Okay, if not, I know Kenzie Becking. Saw her on here. Kenzie?
Hi. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, it's Kenzie.
What?
Go ahead, Kenzie. I'll let you say something about your plans. Kenzie, I'm going to brag on Kenzie for a minute. Kenzie's also a great basketball player too, and I was able to convince her also to play lacrosse and be multi-sport athlete, which I think is phenomenal with a lot of the girls that are on our team.
I'm Kenzie, and I'll be going to Muskingum next year too. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Are you playing lacrosse there?
Yes, I'm playing basketball and lacrosse.
Outstanding. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kenzie. It's great. And one of my other seniors is Amanda Bailey. And Amanda was very instrumental in our team. Amanda, I saw you on too.
Here.
There you are.
I'm Amanda Bailey, and I'll be attending Mercyhurst University and playing lacrosse next year.
Where's that at?
It's in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Outstanding.
Yes, so we're very, very proud of these girls. Amanda is she's a very shy person, but she's one that led by example, which was fantastic. Days when it was raining, spring sports, we play in all types of weather. the rain, the snow, to even get in April, and a little sleet. So thank you, commissioners, for having us here. We're very honored to have had a fantastic season and a magical run.
Outstanding.
Congratulations, great,
Congratulations.
great job.
We're gonna, since we're on Dublin Kaufman, got to go to Dublin Jerome. Again, I hope you athletes and coaches stick around to the conclusion here. But so next we've got Dublin Jerome High School boys lacrosse team.
Commissioner, I do not believe that they were able to join us this morning.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
I was hoping they were gonna be on. My niece was a big time lacrosse player for the Jerome women's team back in the day. She played for the Buckeyes. Actually, funny enough, played for the Buckeyes and played for Michigan, but that's a long story. That never happens.
Yeah, I thought that was like against state law, but okay. We'll bring that up. We won't report that to the authorities.
I'll have to
So
tell you that story sometime.
So next we've got Dublin Jerome High School boys 110-meter hurdles champion.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Calvin McRae. I'm boys track coach at Jerome. You know, coming into the season, we had a lot of holes to fill and a lot of question marks about our team. But the one question mark or question I had answered was Silas Kayuha. Silas is a third Kayuha I've had the opportunity to coach in track, having had his sister Hannah and his brother Doug. They come from a tremendous family. And Silas is just a tremendously hardworking young man. He was typically the first guy out on the track and the last person to leave. Anything we needed him to do, he did for us. You know, the unique thing about track is, as much as it is an individual sport, it's also a team sport. And if I told Silas to run the 2 mile, he probably would have looked at me funny, but I'm sure he would have done it. Our motto for the year was just go out and compete. You know, we just wanted to go out and compete in every race event. And I think Silas's race in the finals at the state meet was just sheer competition, and his competitive spirit is what drove him to win that championship. He had come in third at districts and regionals to the same two young men who were both tremendous hurdlers in their own right. But I think the last thing I said to Silas before the race was, you still have to run your race. You know, and to be honest with you, we were fully expecting Silas to finish third because those two young men had just been tremendous all year, you know, us having seen them at a few meets. But again, I think Silas's determination, his competitive nature drove him to just go out and compete in that race. And I'm pretty sure people looked at me crazy when he crossed the finish line because, like I've heard a few times, Silas is our first state champion. And I just ran around the stadium. I think I almost knocked the old lady over. So wherever she is, I apologize to her. But again, I'm just extremely proud of Silas and the things he was able to accomplish throughout his career, battled some injuries, but never gave in. So I'll pass the mic to Silas.
Yeah, obviously I can't say where I would have gone without my coaches. I mean, Coach McRae, my hurdle coach, Beth Herchek, Dorian Martin, Coach Beatty. It's unbelievable how much they helped me throughout my journey to winning the state championship. But I also have to thank my teammates, basically my brothers. Like, we were out at the track and like we would be working hard. Sometimes we would get a little distracted, messing around a little bit, but I can't imagine the season without them. It was unbelievable how much they not only pushed me, but how close we got throughout the season. Like, beginning of the season, I didn't even know any of them. I had just met them. But within the first few weeks, it was unbelievable how far we'd come with our relationship. And also at the state meet, I wasn't alone. We had the girls 4x4 and one of the runners, Reagan Ernst, also ran in she plays fifth in the 300 hurdles. So it was an outstanding season for us. It was unbelievable to see everyone, because having COVID ruin our 2020 season was really unfortunate, but it was really nice to see everyone get out there and back on the track.
So Silas, are you a senior?
I am a senior.
And what's next for you?
I'm attending OSU this fall, and I'm hoping to walk on the track team.
Outstanding. Good. Definitely. Good luck. What was your time? I'm curious in the 110 hurdles.
The state finals are in a 14:36. My PR was a 14:32.
Outstanding. I mean, you were doing it. You were doing it. Congratulations. Very
Thank
nice. Very nice. Okay, we'll keep it moving. Next, we've got Johanna Lincoln, high school boys tennis singles champion.
Commissioner, I do not believe that they were able to join either.
Okay, and how about the Johanna Lincoln's high school girls 300-meter hurdles and girls 3,200-meter champions? Are they on? From Johanna?
I did not have a note that they would not be.
Okay.
Yeah, I work here. Me and
Okay.
my sister are here. I'm Camden Bentley. I ran 300-meter hurdles, and this season was like kind of like my newbie season because I didn't have my freshman outdoor season. So it was like a great start to my high school season because I went to state meet and everything. But I think our team kind of is really like put together. We always push each other, and they're like really like supportive of me. So that just kind of drove me to like do better and like make them more proud and everything. So
I am here, Camden.
great.
Hey,
I am here.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, I just wanted to say a few things. Camden is outstanding. I've got another state champion who couldn't be here today, and Alyssa Shope, and she's an outstanding distance runner also. She kind of helped secure our runner-up finish this year. We've had a lot of good fortune. We've been blessed over the last several years, and I want to express my appreciation to you guys because I've been here for the last maybe 6 years coming down to the commissioner's office, and it's been great, outstanding. I love doing that. But we've had some great fortune. We finished in the top 3 since 2014 in Division I, and we've won it a couple of times. And the 2 young ladies that we have with us are just outstanding. Alyssa's not with us, but Camden is, and Camden is being very modest. And I know that Coach Boyce, Mr. Boyce will really appreciate hearing that Camden is presently ranked number 6 in the United States in the 100-meter hurdles for women.
Wow.
She is currently, she has a time of 13:66,
Wow.
which is amazing. The thing is that Camden is just a junior now. She's just going into her junior year.
That's unbelievable.
It really is unbelievable. And it's fantastic, and really just it's going to be fun working with her. She kind of came out last year, and then COVID hit, and then she dedicated herself to being special. And wow, is she pretty special, considering that in the top 10 in the United States, that 6 of those athletes are from Florida, 2 are from Texas, and then there's little Camden Bentley from Ohio. You see Ohio there at number 6, and that's her. And she'll tell you that 13:66 is not where she wants to be. We just saw some Olympic caliber athletes the other day, and I saw them running 12s. And I'm thinking, wow, Camden has the ability to do that before she graduates. So it's going to be outstanding, and it's going to be fun. But she is one of the most humble individuals you'll want to meet. One of the most humble kids ever. If somebody will come to a meet and point her out and look at her, she'd look behind her like, who are we all looking at? Is there a celebrity here? That's just her attitude, and I love it. And she brings that to the team, and we've got a pretty strong culture and what we've done over the last several years. And can't wait to see what she's going to do coming up here in the next couple of years. But I appreciate you guys being here. But I wanted to point that out about her because she is something special.
Camden, I know that feels like everywhere I go, people are always pointing at me and I'm kidding. No, they don't. They don't even know who I am.
pointing at you for a different reason.
Yeah, they're pointing at me for a different reason, right, Commissioner O'Grady?
Hey, Camden, that is pretty impressive stuff, and it's good to have you here, Coach Whitaker. It's good to see you again. You're a mainstay every spring. We have you here, and it's a credit to you, and it's a credit to your program. And it's a credit to athletes like Camden. that you keep bringing through your program. And Camden, we expect to see you back in person next year and the year after. So you keep up the hard work. And we like hearing Coach talk about you the way that he does. And so we expect to see you back more.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Congratulations, Camden. Number 6 in the U.S. is amazing. And I hope you recognize what a tremendous gift you have to be ranked nationally. So we will continue to keep our eye on you and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
The only thing I add to that for everyone watching and listening, that Ohio is a very strong state athletically, and particularly in track and field. Ohio always has people ranked nationally. That is something, and we always surprise everybody because you see California, Texas, and Florida who usually dominate, and then there's always somebody from Ohio. And so we put out those kind of athletes for a long time, and Ohio has a rich tradition in track, and you all are contributing to that tradition. So we're going to keep it moving. Thank you so much, Coach Whitaker. Always good to see you. See you next year.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Next, we've got Hilliard Davidson High School's 800-meter champion. Are you on? Anyone on from Hilliard Davidson?
Hi, good morning. I'm here. I'm not sure if my coach is here yet. I guess I'll just start talking until he jumps.
Yeah, go ahead, Lindsay.
It was a really fun year this year. It was fun to be able to compete after last year and just see, like you said, some of the best athletes in the country in Ohio. And it was really fun to be able to help the younger girls because most of them were freshmen this year, or had freshman level experience. So just allowing them to be able to come up and get big meet experiences were really fun. And next year, I'm a senior, so next year I'm going to be going to Penn State University to run track and cross country.
Outstanding. What kind of time did you run in that 800, Lindsay?
2:10.
That's super fast. That's blazing, and I could probably race on a bike next to you on that that kind of time. Congratulations.
So Lindsay, you're a member of the famous Stahl family from Hilliard. You've got older siblings that are athletes as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So my kids, one of my kids, your dad coached one of my sons in football when he was young, and he played ball with one of your brothers. But you're also a part of the famous Hilliard Davidson running community out here, and if you're out here in Hilliard, I live out here, and if you're out here in Hilliard and you go anywhere, the kids that are running from the Hilliard Davidson community are the traffic in Hilliard, and the cars are the pedestrians, and everybody has to be aware of everybody that's running in this community, and so you are a part of a community here, and so Lindsay is the latest in the tradition of the Hilliard Davidson running champions, and I'm certain that I have driven my car alongside you many miles as you've been running through this community, and so everybody in Hilliard is very proud of you and what you've accomplished, and I'm sure that we'll all be paying attention to your career at Penn State. So congratulations, and I'm sure that you've inspired some runners coming up behind you.
If I could just add to Commissioner Grady's point, her time, by the way, would be a good men's time. That's a good time for anybody. So that's how fast she's moving. She's beaten most of the guys in high school with that kind of time. So congratulations. That's very impressive, and you'll do well in the Big Ten.
Yeah, great job, Lindsay. Great job. I'm sure she's leading all those kids that are out there. It's pretty amazing when you drive through Hilliard, the number of people that are running, adults and kids, but in particular the kids from the middle schools and the high school that are out here running through the community all the time. And I'm sure that she was always the one leading the pack. So congratulations, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. Next, we've got Jonathan Alder High School boys high jump champion. From Jonathan Alder.
I'm here.
Who's that with us? Who's joining us there?
I'm here.
So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about the season.
How you guys
What's
doing,
next?
everybody? I'm Coach Tyler McIntosh. I coach high school track out at Jonathan Alder High School. Since we're a small program, my title is officially the head girls coach, but I train all the sprints and the jumps on boys and girls. But today, we're here, celebrating Joey Walker and his state championship. I just want to let him know how proud I am of him and his hard work this whole season. If you would have told me the first practice that Joey was going to win states, not that he's not a good athlete, but I would be like, But as we went through the season and I seen how much work he put in and I seen how much he wanted it, he went and executed. So again, I'm just so proud of you, Joey, and your family. And like I always say, we're happy, but we're not satisfied. We want to go get another title next year.
What year is Joey, Coach?
Say that again.
What year is he?
He's a junior.
Is he going to be a senior or going to be a junior?
He's going to be a senior.
Oh, that's great.
I see Joey's on. Joey, you want to say some words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to T-Mac, my coach, because I never would have thought that I could even done that without him telling me I could the whole year. And I really, I don't know, just a lot of hard work paid off in the end, I guess.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And
right.
congratulations, by the way, from the Franklin County Commissioners, the folks from Jerome and the folks from Jonathan Alder. This just goes to show you what great neighbors we are. We celebrate our athletes from Union County as well.
That's right. Next we've got New Albany High School boys tennis doubles champion.
Hi. Yes, my name is Mark Thomas. I'm the head coach of the boys and girls varsity programs at New Albany. And I am representing Ryan Mudre and Devin Boyer, who unfortunately could not be here today. They are playing in one of the biggest tennis tournaments of the year for the USTA and the last tournament right before they go to college. But I wanted to make sure I at least came on and said, how much we appreciated you honoring our athletes. Ryan is a 3-time state qualifier. He would have been a 4-time state qualifier had we not lost our opportunity last year. Devin is also a 3-time state qualifier. He's actually a 2-time state champion. He won the state tournament as a freshman and as a senior. So that's a pretty good way to start your career and end your career. These guys are probably 2 of the most decorated tennis players in New Albany history, which is a pretty big thing. We've been lucky enough to have some pretty good players. I think if they were here, they would say thank you. They would also probably say that their coaching that they received was probably the biggest difference in their tennis career, but I'm not sure. Like I said, these guys are high character guys. They will be attending college to play tennis. Brian will be going to Tennessee Chattanooga, and Devin Boyer will be attending Cleveland State University. So, like I said, we're really going to miss these guys. We've had I think Ryan was a state champion along with his father. His father was a state champion many years ago with DeSales High School. So there's a lot of storylines. They'll probably do a 30 for 30 on ESPN on it. It's very exciting. But yeah, so just wanted to say thank you again. We really appreciate it, and just congratulations to all the athletes.
That's great stuff. Well,
are any of them on?
They are not on. They are
Okay.
they are at the biggest tournament of the year is happening right now, and they were waiting to see when their times would be, when their match times would be. And unfortunately, but they both had to play right at 9 o'clock this morning. So we were trying to get it moved, but it just wasn't. They weren't able to accommodate us. So, but I wanted to come on in their place and say thank you very much.
Outstanding. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
We'll stay with New Albany High School boys baseball team. Is the coach on from the baseball team?
Yeah, hi, I'm Dave Starling. I'm the head baseball coach. First off, thank you for this opportunity. This is a great honor. As far as the team's concerned, I mean, like other
athletes, throughout Central Ohio, they kind of were on a mission starting the season as far as representing the seniors from 2020 and maintaining their own identity. The character, the integrity that these young men competed with was impressive. And the gauntlet they had to get through in tournament play was absolutely amazing, especially when you're looking at being one and done. So just an outstanding season, just a tremendous group of young men, which is a testament to their families, to the community. And I couldn't be prouder of this group. But I believe we have three of our seniors on, AC Klaus, senior captains, Brady Conley and Maddox Mead. So I'd like to give them an opportunity for them to
Great.
talk about their futures.
Yeah, I can go first if the other dudes don't mind. I'm Andrew Klaus, and I was a captain this year. I played third base, and I will be continuing to play baseball at Adrian College, is up in Michigan. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm Maddox Mead. I'm going to the University of Rio Grande. The season was pretty fun. Obviously, but the camaraderie that all of us had as a team was just second to none. We all gelled pretty quick. Faced some injuries at the beginning of the season, which Brady can talk about, but which that kind of set us back a little bit, but continued to push forward and kept pushing towards our goal. So yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Hi, my name's Brady Conley. I'm also a graduated senior from New Albany and captain. And this season was just definitely one that I'm never going to be able to forget. First practice of the year, first 30 minutes into the practice, I broke my wrist in like 2 different places and tore a ligament. So most of the plans I had for the season were kind of down the drain. I was looking at a 6-month recovery time for that after having surgery and stuff. But then I was able to heal quickly, and with my team backing me up the whole time, and all the friends I've had and made throughout this season, it helped so much. And I thank everybody who helped me and the team for this accomplishment we were able to make. And I'll also be going to Rio Grande with Maddox to continue playing baseball.
Outstanding.
Congratulations, man.
Any others?
Andrew, get ready for some cold weather up there. It's Adrian. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Cool.
I actually just had one more thing to point out. I actually just wanted to say that with Brady getting hurt, he actually was the closing pitcher in most of our wins for the playoff, and he threw the final pitch of the state championship as well. So he ended up making it back and pitching most of the postseason for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is outstanding. Well, I just want to say again, congratulations to the whole team. I love the stories there, and good luck to you at the next level. Good job, coaches.
Good job, guys. Congratulations.
Stick around. We do have some closing remarks, so I hope you all stick around. Just we're almost to the end here. So next we've got Pickerington North High School boys 4x2 and 4x4 meter relay champion. They seem to be here every year with this, but was Pickerington North on?
Yeah, hi. This is Coach Dave Spring. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Hey, Coach.
All right. So yeah, I'm the head coach of the Pickerington North boys and girls track programs, and we're recognizing on the guys' side the 4x2 and the 4x4, which both won, and then we also won the guys' title as a team at the state championship level too. So I kind of reiterate some of the things the other coaches have said. Just kind of wanted to recognize these guys with the unique year it's been and the sacrifices that they've had to make that you don't really think about maybe having to do. I had a lot of the guys that were on the state championship team, like
eating lunch in my classroom, so they didn't have to do it in the cafeteria where they're worried about getting quarantined. And some of the guys staying fully virtual with school and not coming back just because of all of that. So in addition to the sacrifices that they made it on the track and working out and all the hard work they did there, some of the other things that they did to help us win the championship this year was awesome. We won it back in 2015 as a team, and the differences between this year and that year, it couldn't be more distinct. So we've got 5 guys that I think that I asked to join and kind of wanted to single out that helped win that state title along with the 2 relays. Carl Allen, Derek Amaps, Dalen Duncan, Stephen McElroy, and Zemen Sayoum. 2 of those, Carl, Derek, and Dalen were all contributors to both the 4x2 and the 4x4 relays. And then Stephen and Zemen were actually competed in 4 different events at the state meet. So Zemen was our hurdler. He competed in the 110 hurdles, the 300 hurdles. He was also on the 4x2 and the 4x4. He placed in all 4 of those events and scored quite a few points for us. And then Stephen McElroy competed in the Open 200, the Open 400, and the 4x2 and the 4x4. So Commissioner Bryce, with your track background, 4 events at a track meet, especially when you have prelims and finals and back-to-back days and heat and everything else. So Stephen and Zemen, we really kind of jumped on their back for that state title, and they took us through it. And when you do 4 events like that, you've got to kind of conserve your energy a little bit to kind of make it through. So the sacrifices that those 2 especially made in some of their times with the individual races contributed to the team title. And I give them all the credit in the world for that. Commissioner Boyson, you mentioned earlier, you're a 400 runner. Stephen was the anchor on our champion 4x2 and 4x4. And on the 4x4, he split about a 45-4 to bring it home. And that was a lot of fun to see.
What was the 4x4 time? What was the finishing time for the 4x4?
Let's see. We were 3:15, I think. I gotta look it up.
For those who don't know, that's like a Division I college time. I mean, that's
that
would be a college team.
I'm trying to think, 45, 48, 49, and 49. So they stacked up pretty well. So I think Stephen was going to throw it over to Stephen McElroy for a few minutes. He is a senior along with Zemen, and Dalen are also seniors, but I know Stephen was going to say a few words too. So Stephen, I'll throw it over to you if you're on, buddy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Stephen McElroy, as Coach Spring said. I'm now an alumni at Pickerington North, but I will be attending University of Cincinnati and running track and field, and also majoring in electrical engineering.
Go Bearcats!
Yes, this season was an excellent season for us. Me and the guys, we all were a family, and so with that being said, we all moved as one, and we were able to win as much as we possibly could. So I know with Coach Spring's leadership, we were able to go pretty far in this year's season.
Outstanding.
Congratulations. Is your dad Stephen McElroy?
Yes, that is my dad.
City Schools. Please tell him that I said hello. We used to work together.
Okay, I will.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, you got any other guys on?
Hi, I'm Zemen Sayoum from Pickerington North. I was the hurdler. It was a tough season, especially dealing with indoor, couple injuries, things like that, but the whole season we had a state championship in mind. So we knew exactly what we had to do, even if it meant running 4 events. My coaches, they helped me a lot. We planned through it, even in the beginning of the season, knowing what I was going to have to do in the end, what to do with training. So I'd like to thank them a lot. I couldn't have done it without them.
Outstanding.
Oh, and also I'll be attending Purdue University next year for track and field.
Outstanding. Big Ten.
Yep.
appreciate it. Appreciate you guys doing this for us. I think Stephen and Zeman were the two that were going to speak. So again, we appreciate you having us, and thank you again.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next we've got Westerville Central High School boys 100, 200, and 400 meter dash champion.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy I'm the athletic director at Westerville Central. I don't know if Justin Braun, our athlete, is on with us yet or not. And the head coach, Jason Loffman, I'm not sure if he's on. He's vacationing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So I'm not sure if he was able to join us today.
But wait, Coach, are you telling me that there's one athlete that won the 100, 200, and 400?
He did. Justin Braun is a junior here at Westerville Central High School. And yes, he did pull off, I guess in the track world, it's the trifecta, the 100, the 200, and 400.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult. Yeah.
It's only happened in Ohio, in the history of Ohio high school athletic track and field. It's very rare. And the people that have done it, especially those that have done it at the Division I level, are elite, national Olympic quality runners and have that kind of potential. So yeah, Justin is a junior, just finished his junior year at Westerville Central. Our head coach is Jason Loffman. As I mentioned, this is an elite and exceptional accomplishment. And going into the season, Justin told everyone, or told coach, when coach asked him, hey, what's your goal for the season? He said, I want to win the 1, 2, and 4. And it's very unusual. It's very rare. But he stated that goal. He didn't back off from that goal. He focused on that goal, and he was very determined. And in the end, he got it done, and with some impressive performances as well.
Yeah, that's for those who may not understand that the 200 and 400 are almost back to back. And the 400 is probably the most lactic acid kind of event in track, because it's so intense. And so you generally can't run much after that. You get enough time for hopefully the 4x4. It's so unheard of to do. I feel like the last person to do was Michael Johnson in the Olympics, when he did it that year was a big deal. But I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
His times, I think all three of the times at the time, I think the 100 was in the top 15 in the country. The 200 was maybe in the top 20 in the country. And at the time, the 400 was the number one time in the United States for high schoolers.
Whew, yeah, that's quite the accomplishment. So he'll be a senior this coming year. So we get to see him one more time.
Hope so.
That's outstanding. Well, congratulations to your entire athletic program. That's a great accomplishment, and please give the young man our best.
Yes.
Next, we've got Westerville South High School girls 100 meter hurdle champion. This is our last one, I believe, and then we'll have some closing remarks. Westerville South High School girls 100 meter hurdle champion.
Hi, this is Jim Gall. I'm the girls track coach at Westerville South. We just want to say, thanks for having us on, especially on behalf of our high school and the Westerville City Schools. And I see Marissa just popped in. A few things about our team that you asked about. We really weren't sure what to expect from our team since we missed an entire season. And when we came back, we only had 7 seniors come back, which was really low for us. And if you think about it, and I know the other track coaches on here probably understand this more than anything, our freshmen, the last time they competed in a track meet, they were in 7th grade. And our sophomores were in 8th grade. So we had a lot of inexperience. But I thought overall our team did a great job. We finished second in the OCC. We lost to a really good Big Walnut team by 2.4 points, came down to the last race, which was really, really good. We had some outstanding performances in the OCC meet. We had 9 gold medal winners, 4 silver medalists, and 2 bronze. And believe it or not, Marissa was responsible for 32.5 points in the OCC meet because she won the 100 meter hurdles. She turned right around, went down the track, jumped back on, and won the 100 meter dash. Was our second leg in the 4x100 meter relay, and then she won the 300 hurdles. And she was the MVP of the OCC. And in between all of that, for 5 straight weeks in a row, she set a new school record in 100-meter hurdles, finishing, as an OCC champ, a district champ, and then as a state champion, and where she ran a 14:05, which was really impressive. And she's just an outstanding young lady. And she's also very, very good in the classroom, where she's carrying a 3.97 GPA, which is really, really something to be proud of. And I do want to say this, and she did this all by being injured all year. And I'll let Marissa talk more about that if she'd like to, but she was on limited races in meets. If she ran 100 hurdles in one meet, she wasn't allowed to run the 300s. If she ran a 300, she couldn't run the 100s, but I'll let her speak more on that. But we're really, really proud of her. We have 2 more years to go. Believe it or not, she's best friends with our Gahanna girl, Camden. They work out together. They work out together at the Ohio Speed Academy with Jordan Rispus. And I think they're best friends. You should have seen them warming up before the state 100-meter hurdle race. I mean, they did everything together. So that's the nice thing about track and field as well. But here, I'll let Marissa speak a little bit more on her season.
Hi, I'm Marissa. So this season went really well. I really worked hard and stayed focused. And I know this wouldn't have been possible without Coach Gall and especially my hurdle coach, Coach Rispus, and Camden, we're club teammates, training partners, we're best friends. Like Coach Gall said, we warmed up together before 100 hurdles and 300 hurdles. So yeah, they definitely made the season possible. And my hip, I have a torn labrum. I just had surgery last week. That's why my crutches are right there. But yeah, that's all.
That's amazing.
Well, that torn labrum is in her trail leg hip. So there's a lot of pressure when you come off that hurdle. So.
Well, Marissa, if you had all of these tremendous accomplishments while you were injured, I can't wait to see what you can do when you're healed. So all the best to you in your future track career.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Coach, and to you as well, Marissa.
Thank you.
So that concludes all of the athletes and coaches and schools that we wanted to honor and recognize. Let me give the floor just for a brief moment to Doug and Linda for some final comments. Then I certainly want to open up to my colleagues for some final comments. Doug, you want to go first? Since we had Linda already.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you to the commissioners for recognizing our wonderful athletes and their coaches. Really appreciate that, the time there. And then let me apologize. It's a good sign. I got a new laptop last week and haven't even downloaded Zoom yet. And so good sign, because months ago, that would have been the first thing I did. But, I would just say, I'm just so tickled listening to our athletes and our coaches talk. And I know we have some athletic administrators on here. I want to just say thank you to them because our students don't get a chance to compete this year had it not been for our wonderful athletic directors across Ohio. And I know some of the best ones that we have in Ohio are on this Zoom call. But I did want to mention a common theme I heard on here, which is all about the student athlete experience. We're talking about relationships and teamwork. And I know Marissa and Camden, that doesn't get any better than 2 people competing against each other that are best friends, that are helping each other. And that was just great. So I appreciate hearing those type of things. And I know Commissioner Kevin, you with your track background, one thing I noticed standing watching the Division I high jump at Hilliard Derby on a Friday morning and seeing a young lady from Menor win, and then watching her go to the next after she already won the next height, and she didn't even get close because of the emotion of winning that. So Justin, I cannot imagine when you win one event and keep your focus for the second one, and then keep your focus for the third. That's a tremendous accomplishment out there. So good for you. And I do appreciate Brady. I'm glad I got a chance to hear you talk because I did watch you play baseball, New Albany twice and Akron. And I remember walking out of the Rubber Duck Stadium, Canal Park in Akron, about 12:30 at night on a Sunday night, and taking a deep breath, thinking we've got all 26 sports in and those type of things. But about an hour before that, I was watching the game and getting ready for the award ceremony on a 6-1 game. And an impressive thing for the New Albany folks that I saw is Elder make a run at him to get 6-5, and coach had made a few pitching changes. And Brady, I wasn't sure who came in at the end, but boy, your poise and confidence coming in. I believe there was a runner on third in a 6-5 game with 1 out, if I remember right. And you shut that runner down or that batter down and kept that runner on third. So just so many great things, and so thankful that our spring athletes were the first ones to experience a regular crowd. The biggest question I get is, what's the fall going to look like? And thank goodness the governor's lifted some of the restrictions, and I said, you're seeing it, and communities came back out, and so to watch you guys participate. So you should have been the first group that got to experience that with what happened to you there before, and all the adversity that you've had the last year. To be on here talking today just really makes my heart melt, and so thankful for our student athletes to get this experience. So again, thanks to the commissioners for recognizing so many wonderful athletes in Franklin and Union County from that. So with that, appreciate your accomplishments and look forward to Camden getting down in the 12s before you get out of Gahanna. And I'd love to come over and watch a track meet over there next year. So please remember, if you would reach out to me and invite me over and remind me, because I'm a little older and I might forget, but I don't think I'll forget those times that Camden's running. So thank you and enjoy your summer.
Thanks, Doug. Linda, you've got a few comments you want to add?
Just want to thank you all. As Doug mentioned, just the storytelling and the athletes overcoming adversity, and just that was also a common theme of their grit and determination. So I'm just proud to be part of today. So thank you.
Thank you. Let me turn over to my colleagues. Commissioner Tyler Lee, I'll start with you.
Thank you, President Boyce. This is obviously my first meeting that I've been a part of where we acknowledge student athletes, and I'm not sure how it came to be, but whoever thought of it, I applaud this opportunity to recognize our young people. We don't have enough forums where we can celebrate the accomplishments of our young people and appreciate this time, and we should always take time to acknowledge the accomplishments of young people in our community. I am a student, if you will, of John Maxwell, who's a leadership guru, and one of his books is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And one of the laws is the law of the environment, which says that growth only happens in conducive surroundings. So to all of our student athletes, I just want to remind you that your environment is just not your physical environment, but the people who are around you. And like Doug said, almost every student athlete who spoke talked about the coaches and their teammates who pushed them to be better. And so I would encourage you to always make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are pushing you to be better, who are encouraging you to do the very best you can do, because that is part of your success as well. And I appreciate you all acknowledging, while we celebrated your accomplishments, you were all very quick to acknowledge the others that helped you succeed. And that's something that's really important. I hope you won't lose. And to our seniors who are moving on to college, just continue to represent Central Ohio with excellence. We are so proud of you, and we'll be cheering for you as you move into your next chapter and your next season. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Grady.
So Commissioner Tyler Lee, you were right to point out these great athletes and the inception of all this. This started years and years back when Linda Logan brought this idea to us, and I immediately jumped on this and said, this is a fantastic idea, because I remember when I was a youngster and I was a member of the state championship team, Columbus City Council bringing us down to council chambers and recognizing our accomplishments when I was a senior in high school and a member of a state championship wrestling team. when I was at Bishop Reedy High School. And so I immediately said, this is a wonderful, wonderful idea. And Doug, the reason that we include Union County and also Fairfield County today, and in times past, our other surrounding counties like Delaware County High Schools and others, is not just because we're an inclusive group that likes our neighbors, but because this is a region, and we see ourselves as the host community in a bigger part of a region, and Central Ohio and Columbus reaches out into Union County. Columbus reaches into Delaware County and Fairfield County, and so we believe that it's all part of the family. To the athletes that are here today, that are part of this today, and also we should let you know that Commissioner Braun, when she was here, was a big proponent of making sure that we not only recognize student athletes, but that we also recognize scholars and artists. And so annually we do an event to recognize the scholars and the artists that are amongst us as well. And so we do that every year as well. But to the students that are on here, I have just two things I want to remind you. One is you didn't get here on your own. You all recognized your teammates and you all recognized your coaches, like Commissioner Tyler Lee said. But the other thing that you should do is you should remember those folks who woke you up every morning to make sure that you made it to practice, those folks who picked you up and drove you all over town to make sure that you had a ride, to make sure that you were fed and nourished, to make sure that you were taken care of, and those that were there cheering you on every step of the way. Make sure that you thank your mom and dad. Make sure that you thank your little brothers and sisters who put up with you, and your older brothers and sisters who put up with you through the process. Make sure that you thank those who you've forgotten about all the way through this, because you were very much focused on your accomplishments. Make sure that you're being very thankful and intentional about being thankful to those who helped you get here, because you didn't get here by yourself. So make sure you're thankful. I had a hard time doing that when I was an athlete. I was very much interested in myself and very much interested in my accomplishments. And I oftentimes forgot to be thankful to all of those who helped me become the athlete that I became. And then the other thing I would tell you, and this is something that I always tell all of the athletes 3 times a year when we do this, what you've just accomplished is fantastic. It is a tremendous accomplishment. It's a wonderful thing. Becoming a champion and the work and the effort that you've put in to become a champion is phenomenal, and nobody can ever take it away from you. But please don't let this be the biggest thing that you ever accomplish in your life. Make sure that this accomplishment is a springboard to greater things to come in your future. Make sure that the work and the effort that you've put in to become this champion is something that you use as a lesson for the remainder of your life. And make sure that this accomplishment helps you to go on and become something greater, someone greater. This shouldn't be 30 years from now when you're approaching my age, when you're Commissioner Boyce's age, and you're approaching my age. This shouldn't be the biggest thing that you've ever done. This should be the thing that was the catalyst to help you become someone and something great. So thank everybody that helped you get where you are, and have this be the beginning of wonderful things in your life. Congratulations, everyone.
Let me just say, to my colleagues have really just said it all, and I would maybe add two small things to their comments. One, I want to personally thank the coaches, the teachers, and the parents too, for your contribution in this accomplishment for these young people. But 2 things jumped out to me. One was what Coach Vaughn said from Afrocentric about asking one of his student athletes to run their wall, and it's obviously the proverbial wall, if you will. But he said, it's not about running through the wall. It's about understanding what's on the other side and what it means. And I really believe, and he talked about his athletes being hungry to compete, which most of the coaches did. That same type of energy, that same type of hunger transfers in life, transfers in your careers, it transfers in everything you do. As Commissioner O'Grady talked about, let this not be your greatest accomplishment. But what you can do is take what you've learned and what you've experienced that and apply it to everyday life, to your everyday career, with your family, with your community, and everything you do. And I promise you, you'll see the same type of success. Now, life has its ups and downs, just like sports does. But that's the beauty about being a student athlete. You learn how to address adversity. You learn how to persevere through those challenges. Brady, I can remember my senior year, I broke my leg in football very early in the season. And by the end of the season, I worked hard and came back to play in the last 3 games of the season. It was rough, but I did. And it's that same type of energy, that same type of application that I apply in life and everything I do. I think about that time often. It's not my greatest accomplishment being a student athlete, but the lessons that I learned and the things that have come from it are, and those things that I carry with me every day. And I'm absolutely certain that the athletes and the coaches and the parents and all those who are involved understand that and will do that going forward. So to all of the athletes, parents, teachers, and everybody involved, congratulations on a tremendous accomplishment and a great year. God bless you and Godspeed to all of you in everything you do. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Hey, you're all welcome to stick around and see how we do county government if you want to. You don't have to go. As Linda checks out.
Right. All right, let's keep this moving. We got a lot to get through in a short amount of time, so I'm going to just dive right into it. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the June 15, 2021 general session, the June 17, 2021 briefing session, and the June 16, 2021 administrative briefing?
I move for the approval of the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Thank you. First up, our auditor.
Resolution number 47521, resolution authorizing a 1-year contract with Wolpert Incorporated for the orthographic aerial current agricultural use valuation photography utilizing non-general funds in the amount of $69,088.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Adam Seeley, Staff Counsel for Franklin County Auditor Michael Giano. Our resolution this morning authorizes a supplemental state term contract to update the county's current agricultural use valuation, or CAUV digital photography set. The Auditor's Office is tasked annually with reviewing each CAUV parcel in the county to ensure compliance with the CAUV program. Wolpert contracts plans to take aerial photography of the county and uses proprietary sensory and radar technologies to identify types of agricultural land uses remotely. This ends up saving taxpayer dollars that would otherwise be needed to send in-field appraisers to gather comparable data. And pending any questions or comments, we'd recommend passage of the resolution. Thank you.
There's no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 47521.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 47521 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Clerk of Courts.
Resolution number 47621, a resolution authorizing a master leasing agreement and image care master agreement with Gordon Flesh Company Incorporated for the purpose of providing copiers and related services in the amount of $48,100.
Morning, Commissioners. Sean Reeder,
Morning.
Fiscal Officer for the Clerk's Office. The Clerk's Office wishes to enter into a master leasing agreement with Gordon Flesh Incorporated for the purpose of securing photocopy machines and related support services. Gordon Flesh has competitively bid and negotiated contracts to the State of Ohio's Department of Administrative Services and PEPM Purchasing Cooperative that meets the criteria of Franklin County and the Clerk's Office to acquire necessary equipment and related services for its legal and audit title divisions. Master leasing agreements are to be in effect for a period of 36 months. The Clerk's Office respectfully requests approval of Resolution 476-21.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 47621.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 47621 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
You.
Next coroner.
Resolution number 47721, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation for the addition of a suicide investigator.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Amanda Alvarez. I'm the Director of Operations for the Coroner's Office representing Dr. Anahi Ortiz. This resolution presented with an agreement to the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation is for an authorization to accept this 2-year agreement with an award of $150,000. This will support collaboration, expand the data analysis and investigative capacity for suicides, and to aid in the prevention strategies and outreach activities. This position will allow our organization to exchange information for the purposes of working toward a common platform between identifying social determinants and advancing the goal of integrating collected data in the continuation of building the capacity for the suicide surveillance strategy and system, and creating a process and framework to share data. The depth of the data obtained through this position will not only better the investigative perspective to assist the forensic pathologist in determining cause and manner of death, but will also provide information and closure to those families. Additionally, this information that is learned will then be reviewed and then shared with the community through various outreach, and including educational and resource handouts. This agreement will conclude June 30th of 2023. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 47701. I'm
Second.
sorry, 47721.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 47721 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, engineer.
Resolution number 47821, authorization for the Franklin County engineer to enter into a reimbursement agreement with the City of Columbus for the Shook Road Phase 2 Improvement Project, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners, Administration, staff, and constituents. My name is Cornell Robertson, honored to serve as your Franklin County engineer and Franklin County drainage engineer. Commissioners, this first resolution is for a capital improvement project in the southeast part of the county, in the City of Columbus and Hamilton Township, at the intersection of Shook Road and State Route 317, and will include the addition of turn lanes and pedestrian facilities. The project will be administered by the City of Columbus, and the engineer's office has asked Columbus to include paving of Shook Road south of the intersection in Franklin County's jurisdiction to capitalize on the economy of scale. This resolution is an intergovernmental agreement which will allow the engineer's office to reimburse Columbus from our road and bridge fund. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 47821.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 47821 has been adopted. Resolution number 47921, Fishbeck Incorporated Consulting Engineers and appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer by providing detailed engineering services for the Eiderman Road 0.75 over South Fork Indian Run WAS-C0041-0.75 improvement project, Washington Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $221,956.
This bridge replacement is in the northwest part of the county in Washington Township along Eiderman Road over South Fork Indian Run between Shire Rings Road and Post Road. This resolution is for a detailed design contract with Fishbeck, and we use the qualifications-based selection process. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 47921.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 47921 has been adopted. Resolution number 48021, Blouse, Pyle, Schomer, Burns, and DeHaven Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer by providing detailed engineering services for the Harrisburg-Georgesville Road 2.83 over Big Darby Creek PLE CR3-2.83 improvement project, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $426,303.47.
Commissioners, this is a similar resolution for another bridge replacement project. This one is in the southwest part of the county in Pleasant Township along Harrisburg-Georgesville Road over Big Darby Creek. This resolution is for a detailed design contract with GPD for short, And we use the qualifications-based selection process for this recommendation as well. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 48021.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48021 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. I'll stay online for the upcoming public hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Next is the treasurer's office.
Resolution number 48121, resolution authorizing County Administrator Kenneth Wilson to sign a non-disclosure agreement with Fiserv via the electronic signature application DocuSign.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jim Reese, Chief Counsel for the Treasurer's Office. The Franklin County Treasurer's Office is currently reviewing electronic payment solutions. The vendor Fiserv has proprietary information that is critical to review for compatibility assurance. Fiserv has requested the completion of the NDA before releasing this information. The County Prosecuting Attorney's Office has completed the review of the NDA and recommended that we are able to move forward. The Treasurer's Office will incur no expense and recommends, pending any questions, the County Authorized Administrator Kenneth Wilson to apply digital signature to the NDA within the DocuSign application.
If there are no questions or comments, I'll move approval of resolution 48121.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48121 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Office of Aging.
Resolution number 48221, resolution authorizing a novation agreement with Prime Home Care LLC.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Amy Funk, Assistant Director of Administration, and joining me this morning is Director Orville Johns and Sheena Crawford, Quality Improvement Administrator. On October 27, 2020, Franklin County entered into contract extension with Prime Home Care Grove City LLC, formerly Aim Care Home Care, for homemaker, personal care, and respite care services for those served by Franklin County Office on Aging Senior Options Program. The contract extension is in effect until October 31st of 2022. Franklin County was notified that Prime Home Care Grove City LLC had merged its company and changed its name to Prime Home Care LLC. As such, the novation agreement notes the company name change and new remit to address. Prime Home Care LLC agrees to assume the liability of the original contract extension between Prime Home Care Grove City LLC to continue to provide homemaker, personal care, and respite care services throughout the contract extension period at the same rates, terms, and conditions. Effective immediately and by signing this novation agreement, Prime Home Care LLC agrees to assume liability of the original contract between Franklin County and Prime Home Care Grove City LLC. Pending any questions, I respectfully ask for the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of resolution 48221.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48221 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, community partnerships.
Resolution number 48321, resolution authorizing a community partnership grant agreement with Harmony Project for calendar year 2021 in the amount of $25,000.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Dana McCreary, and I am the Administrator for Community Partnerships. I think we may have heard the voice of David Braun, who is the Creative Director of the Harmony Project, and he will be joining us. This resolution will provide support to create the infrastructure for Harmony Project's new model for community building, Harmony Villages. Each village is comprised of 10 to 12 community volunteers from diverse backgrounds who will essentially form a social support network for our neighbors in need. And those neighbors include formerly incarcerated men and women, new Americans who are looking for their piece of the American pie, young adults who are aging out of foster care, and young families who are struggling just to get ahead. And this social support network will connect them to resources around healthcare, housing, education, and employment. This $25,000 investment will help to produce positive change in the lives of many Franklin County residents. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the passage of this resolution. I would also invite David Braun, Creative Director for Harmony Project, to just share a few words with us about this proposal.
So unlike David to come in off cue.
No, it's not.
Well, Dana, first of all, Commissioner O'Grady, thank you. Commissioner Boyce, I'd like to say I can also run the 445, but it takes me 45 minutes to run it. So, and Commissioner Tyler Lee, it's so nice to see you, and thank you for serving our county this way. As you all know, Franklin County, we are blessed to have amazing services for families and individuals who have great need. And yet, in our process of kind of studying this, we found that there was a slight gap, and that is the social and emotional connection. That is the once the need has been met, once somebody is moving forward, how can we surround them with a community that continues to hold their hands and walk with them through the process? And that's how we feel that's what we feel we're going to be able to do with this new project, is to empower our Franklin County residents to surround the individuals in need and be a micro community of support around them. And so we're so honored to be able to be considered for this. It's our first time to ever request funding from Franklin County Commissioners, and we believe it's for a very important program. So thank you very much.
Commissioners, pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
I'm pretty sure you guys all know that I'm a big fan, so I'm happy to move for the approval of Resolution 48321.
I'll second, and just thank you to David and to my good friend Shelley, who's also on the line, for bringing this innovative proposal forward. I believe that many hands make for light work, and so we applaud the Harmony Project for looking to support people in our community in need, and I'm anxious to see how this project does support folks, and just thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 48321 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 48421, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with Experience Columbus for the support of a diversity apprenticeship program.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Damika Withers, the Chief Economic Equity and Inclusion Officer for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution will support a diversity apprenticeship program to ensure the travel industry recovers with equity in Columbus and in Franklin County. From July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2023, the program will provide hands-on experience to a minimum of 36 ethically diverse apprentices interested in pursuing a career in tourism and hospitality. Their apprentices will complete a total of 600 working hours to gain experience in technology, sales, marketing, finance, and operations. The resolution authorizes the county administrator to enter into an agreement with Experience Columbus for the support of the Diversity Apprenticeship Program, and also authorizes supplemental general fund appropriations in the amount of $125,000, which will be supported by revenue from the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund that was authorized by the American Rescue Plan. Any questions or comments, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Commissioners, I would like to recognize that Brian Ross with Experience Columbus is on the line.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Ms. Withers.
Good morning, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, and great to see you, Commissioner Tyler Lee. And again, thank you for taking this responsibility with our county. As mentioned, our industry has been devastated with the pandemic. So it is important to us, and I would say imperative, for us to be very intentional in how we recover with our workforce, particularly when we're talking about leadership in our industry. And prior to COVID-19, we had a major gap in racial equity in our industry. And so when you looked at our workforce prior to COVID-19, about 15% of our workforce were Black and Brown, from our Black and Brown community. If you look at the 2010 census, 24% of our residents are Black and Brown. So you could see the gap there. And that's just the overall workforce. When you start looking at entry-level leadership and leaders in our industry, that 15% goes down quite a bit. So we want to be very intentional, and we really appreciate your partnership. We were able to secure 19 partners that are committed to making this happen and providing, upon completion of this apprenticeship, jobs are guaranteed in our industry.
Thank you, Brian. It's fantastic. It's as we begin to open up, this is just critical work and good news. And Tamika, Director Withers, thank you for your work in this area and all the work that you and your agency have been doing. If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 484-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 484-21 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention.
All right, next, Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 485-21, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Homes on the Hill for a Franklin County COVID-19 Emergency Assistance Eviction Prevention Program in the amount of $200,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Paxson, Steve Horsell, the Executive Director, and Daniel Ruggiero, the Assistant Director for Homes Hill, are also on the call should any questions arise for them. Homes on the Hill will establish and deliver an eviction and foreclosure prevention program. The program will provide direct rent and mortgage assistance payments to qualified county applicants. The county's allocation of the program amount of $200,000 will cover the mortgage assistance payments and program assistance and administrative costs related to the program delivery. In addition to the direct assistance, Homes on the Hill will also provide housing counseling, referrals to other housing assistance programs, including Impact, another county's CARES Act recipient. This agreement will be funded by COVID-19 second round CDBG dollars from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Pending questions, I respectfully request approval of the agreement.
If there are no further comments or questions, I will move approval of Resolution 485,
Commissioner.
485-21, sorry.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 485-21 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, Sanitary Engineer.
Resolution number 486-21, resolution authorizing a modification to the construction administration and inspection contract with CCI Engineering Services for additional compensation for the National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project, an increase of $399,749 for a revised amount of $1,598,987.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Sanitary Engineer is requesting the authorization of a contract modification with CCI Engineering Services for construction administration and construction inspection services for Phase 2 of our National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project, which is currently occurring in Prairie Township. Due to circumstances outside the control of CCI Engineering Services, the period of performance needs to be increased by 8 months, from 17 months to 25 months, in order to successfully complete the second phase of the project. Additional funding is needed to cover the additional 8 months of service, which is estimated to be $399,749. Funding for the extended services will be provided by Ohio EPA's Water Supply Revolving Loan Account, the Ohio Public Works Commission, and the Department of Sanitary Engineering. There will be no modifications to the scope of services. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of resolution 48621.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48621 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Next is Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 48721, excuse me, resolution approving a contract for on-site case management services between Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services and Ohio Health Corporation in the amount of $183,740.27.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. Per the contract, an FCD-JFS case manager will be stationed on site at both hospitals to provide timely assistance in determining patient eligibility, primarily for Medicaid, but also for other agency programs. Ohio Health will reimburse our agency a monthly amount not to exceed $16,569.65 for the cost of each case manager, as well as $3,215.42 per month to cover a portion of the cost of the supervisor and clerical support. Over the 12-month term, the contract cost shall not exceed $183,740.24. The contract also includes options to extend the agreement for 2 additional 12-month terms. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
There are no questions or comments. I will move approval of resolution 48721.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 48721 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention. Resolution number 48821, resolution approving a contract with Arbor E&T LLC doing business as Equius Workforce Solutions for Ohio Works First work activities, services, and management in the amount of $4,199,052.
Commissioners, as you know, adult Ohio Workforce participants, with few exceptions, must participate in specified work activities as a condition of receiving cash benefits. In February of 2021, we released a request for proposals inviting qualified, fiscally responsible organizations to assist with the management of allowable work activities that support our OWF families to attain permanent self-sufficiency. We received 4 proposals, 2 were deemed reviewable, and Arbor E&T was found to be the lowest and best bid. Through this initial 18-month contract period, Equius and its subcontracted partners, including Goodwill Columbus, Jewish Family Services, and the National Center for Urban Solutions, will serve approximately 400 to 600 work-required residents per month. By identifying and securing work experience sites, monitoring and reporting weekly work participation hours, providing workforce development services that advance self-sufficiency. They will also conduct analysis and reporting on customer participation and demographic data, as well as employment placement and retention services. This resolution supports goal number 4 of the Rise Together Blueprint. And pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of resolution 48821.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48821 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 48921, resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation for the coronavirus emergency supplemental fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Simpson, Chief Operating Officer for the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, as you know, our office is the administrative and fiduciary agent for the coronavirus emergency supplemental funds issued by the Bureau of Justice Assistance. Funding liquidated this calendar year by subrecipients has exceeded our original budget projections, and therefore we are requesting supplemental appropriations in the amount of $600,000 to support reimbursements to subrecipients for the remainder of calendar year 2021. This grant is scheduled to terminate January 31st, 2022. However, we do anticipate requesting a no-cost extension. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There's no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 48921.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 48921 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, Public Facilities Management.
Excuse me, resolution number 49021. Resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a modification to the contract agreement with DeBraw Kemple Incorporated doing business as MCOR Services Automated Controls to perform additional building controls activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center and the amount of the contract not to exceed $40,433, and authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute additional minor modifications to the contract agreement for a revised amount of $2,443,999.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director of Public Facilities Management. The first resolution for your consideration today is associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center. The Correction Center construction project has an established small and emerging business enterprise SEBE aspirational goal of 12%. This project remains on track to exceed the aspirational goal with an SEBE commitment of 29.19% or approximately $84 million as of June 10th, 2021. In July of 2018, DeBraw Kemple Inc., DBA MCOR Services Automated Controls, was awarded a contract agreement to perform building controls activities associated with the construction of the new Franklin County Correction Center. This resolution authorizes a modification to the contract agreement with DeBraw Kemple Inc. to provide all mechanical and building controls work associated with various design documents issued by DLZ Architecture and an owner-directed allowance for additional mechanical and building controls activities. Any unused funds will be returned to the county. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There's no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 49021.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 49021 has been adopted. Resolution number 49121, resolution authorizing a contract with PSP Operations Incorporated doing business as SurfPro of Northeast Columbus and Ohio Technical Services Incorporated to provide specialized cleaning services at designated Franklin County facilities in the amount of $400,000.
Public Facilities Management is responsible for the facility needs of the various agencies and offices of Franklin County. PFM, in collaboration with the Purchasing Department and the Prosecutor's Office, issued a request for qualifications to secure the services of qualified firms to provide specialized cleaning services, including for COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 specialized cleaning at designated Franklin County facilities. 5 proposals were received. This resolution authorizes a contract with 2 firms, PSP Operations Inc., DBA SurfPro of Northeast Columbus, and Ohio Technical Services Inc., who were determined to be the best qualified to provide specialized COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 cleaning services. Both firms are local, and this is a not to exceed contract. The term of the contract shall be for the period of 1 year, beginning June 22nd through June 21st of 2022, and allows for 2 optional 1-year extension periods, which may be authorized at the discretion of the county. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this resolution.
There's no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 49121.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 49121 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners, and congratulations to all the athletes. Enjoyed hearing their stories.
Okay, next we've got purchasing.
Resolution number 49221, Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,304,270.47.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. Joining me this morning is Marlise Wicker, Franklin County's Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, our resolution this week requests your approval of 73 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise will take you through the SCB EPOs. Good morning, Marlise.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. This week, we have 5 out of 13 eligible purchase orders that are being presented to 4 women business enterprise, 1 small and emerging business enterprise vendors. These 5 purchase orders total $4,061, which equates to 38% of the eligible purchase order dollar volume and 20% of the purchase order dollar value, with the following agencies increasing supplier diversity of goods and services within Franklin County to include probate court, domestic and juvenile court, emergency management, and the sheriff's office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There's no questions or comments. I'll move approval of resolution 492-21.
Second, sorry.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I abstain.
Resolution number 492-21 has been adopted with Commissioner Tyler Lee's noted abstention.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank
Thank you. Next, Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 493-21, resolution appointing representatives to various Franklin County designated tax incentive review councils and community reinvestment authorities.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. Pending any questions, would recommend the reappointment of Kellen Craig and the appointment of Julie Verne Orr to the Tax Incentive Review Council and Community Reinvestment Authorities.
There's no comments or questions. I'll move approval of resolution 493-21.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 493-21 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great. Dean, are there any journalizations?
We have one today, Commissioner,
Mhm.
from our friends in Economic Development and Planning. Case number ANX-25-21, an expedited type 2 annexation petition, ANX-25-21, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on June 8th, 2021. The petition is requesting to annex 1.465 acres, more or less, from Mifflin Township to the city of Gahanna. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on July 13th, 2021. An unnamed parcel on Codet Road, PID number 191-003163.
Okay. That concludes our regular agenda. I think we have a public hearing now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
With your permission, I'll take it from here.
please do.
Thank you, Commissioner. Last, under the Board of Commissioners, resolution number 494-21, resolution considering the initial feasibility of the improvement of the Gulf View Ditch Watershed, Braun Township, Franklin County, Ohio. And before we begin, I have received a number of public speaker requests. We will address those in the order received. But first, we have a presentation from the Franklin County Engineer's Office. If Mr. Engineer, I see you, and Mr. Ramsey, I see you. If you could please raise your hand, I will administer the oath. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Ramsey, the floor is yours, or Mr. Engineer. And you should be able, I'm sorry, I just want to let you know, you should be able to share your screen as well at this time.
Okay. Jim Ramsey will share his screen, and while he does that, I'll make an introduction to this particular project. And today we're in what is officially the first hearing for the Gulfview County Ditch Petition in the west part of the county in Braun Township, near the Thorn Apple Golf Course, and generally bound by Feder Road, Cole Road, and Hamilton Run. To date, we have held 4 public meetings on this drainage maintenance project and received comments from property owners, interested parties, and other public agencies. Our team has completed a preliminary report summarizing existing conditions, cost estimate, and feasibility. President Boyce, at this time, if okay with you, I would like to turn the floor over to our riparian and environmental engineer, Jim Ramsey, to present additional information in that preliminary report.
Absolutely.
Once Jim is done, pardon me.
Oh,
Once
I
Jim
was-
is done, I would like to summarize our official recommendation.
Outstanding. Please proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Just a short presentation this morning. I'll do a short recap of the petition process, then an overview of the report that we have filed with you, and then we'll turn it back over to Engineer Robertson, and then provide the opportunity for interested parties to speak. The petition process for this Gulfview petition is covered under Ohio Revised Code 6131. The petition was filed March 5th, 2021. It was initiated by Mr. Greg Richards, and it includes, there's 22 homes or parcels in this watershed, and 6 of them, including Mr. Richards, have signed the petition requesting a drainage improvement. We held the view on March 19th, 2021. Prior to the view, there was a public information meeting with residents held virtually, and we have the first hearing today, June 22nd, and prior to this hearing last week, we also held a public information meeting with residents. Final hearing date, if you vote to move this project forward today, then the final hearing date will be determined later. And if it then gets advanced or after the final hearing date, there's an appeal period, and then bidding, construction, levying of assessments, and ongoing maintenance. So the purpose of the first hearing really is to give you more information about the project, a little bit more information, and provide an opportunity for you all to decide if you would like us to move forward with design or to stop here. If you decide today that you'll want to move forward with design, then at the final hearing, you get detailed plans, estimates, assessment schedules. You really get all the information about the project, and that's the point where you decide if you want to move forward and build the project or not. Components of the preliminary report include the outline of the petition process, existing conditions at the site, our preliminary cost estimate, our comments on feasibility, benefits versus cost, and factors favorable and unfavorable, and ultimately our recommendation. The existing conditions, Gulfview subdivision. The subdivision was built in the 1970s, and it utilized an existing pipe as an outlet as opposed to building a new pipe to serve the subdivision. It has had a lack of maintenance over the years and is suffering from surface ponding. This picture we looked at in the view and is taken from some of the videos that we watched. Mr. Richards' home is right here. And this is a picture from the west side of Cole Road looking across that Apple Golf Course. Our preliminary cost estimate, and I emphasize preliminary because the way the petition process works, we don't get to invest much in this prior to filing our first report and bringing this to you. So it's our best estimate based on a small amount of information, including construction, survey, design, administration, contingency, and the first year of maintenance. If we ultimately build this project, we estimate the cost to be $272,000. Our comments on feasibility. This is a developed area, so it's predominantly the area, the work area is single family residential. And so there are homes and various things associated with the homes that are in the area. The golf course is in the area, but I wouldn't anticipate much work there. We do have the issue that most of the homes obtain their water from on-site wells and treat their wastewater with household sewage treatment systems. Despite the tight conditions and also electric and gas utilities to be expected to be present, we do think that there is sufficient space available to design and construct an improvement suitable to serve the needs of petitioners and all the homes in the watershed. Would obviously be some disruption to homeowners during construction if we opt to go that route. Stakeholders, as we mentioned earlier, OPNR, Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District, and the EPA, as well as Brown Township and the Franklin County Engineer's Office. Benefits versus cost. Typically on a project like this, you're going to see some increased value of residential properties when they have good drainage. It is our belief and belief commonly known that homes that have good drainage are going to sell for a better price than homes that have a bad drainage system. However, the most important factor driving our interest in this project and a recommendation is that all the homes are served by household sewage treatment systems and wells to get their well water. And we believe those systems to all be discharging systems. So there are outletting gray water into the storm sewer system. And we believe for that reason that we need to have a well-constructed, well-designed, and well-maintained storm sewer system to serve that. So it is our opinion that the benefits do exceed the project costs. Favorable project considerations are improved surface and subsurface drainage, reduction of ponded water, and improved functioning and reliability of the system to serve the household sewage treatment systems, and reduction of future deterioration that is happening now. If ultimately you decide to build this improvement, it will then be served by annual inspections and maintenance of the improvement through the petition process, which we think is also would be a very important addition to the current situation. It also is consistent with Franklin County's initiatives to satisfy Clean Water Act requirements. Sorry, skipped screens there, I went the wrong way. The unfavorable, and I would emphasize this a little more in this case, we know from our public meetings that many of the homeowners in the watershed are concerned about the disruption during construction and how it's going to disrupt their use of their property. And it will. There will be some homes that are impacted significantly, I anticipate, if we do build this, but it would be a temporary disruption, and most likely is going to be to replace the existing pipe that is there with a more modern and properly sized pipe. So we are going to recommend approval for that, and I'll let Engineer Robertson summarize that just a minute here when I finish. And before we open to questions and public comments, just to familiarize everybody with the area, here we have Fetter Road, Cole Road, Thornapple Golf Course. The blue area shaded here is the area that contributes water to the system. This is the existing drainage at Gulfview Place. The existing drainage on Cole Road. What's not shown is a line that comes back between these houses, and you can see that very tight spot there. And then ultimately comes back this way, comes down around here, actually goes under this pool and deck and over to here. The current condition of the system is old. It's a clay tile system, and there are a significant number of offsets and also tree roots in the system that are blocking it. One concern that has come up during our public information meetings is that Mr. Richards built his home in the floodplain. I've consulted with our floodplain administrator, Matt Braun. He has provided this map for me to show and explain the floodplain. Here's Hamilton Ditch, where the system ultimately outlets to. This area in the hash mark is the floodway, which is actual flood flow path of the water. Zone AE here in blue is what is commonly referred to as the floodplain. That is the 1% chance per year of flooding, of floodwater coming back from Hamilton Ditch. And it is commonly referred to as the 100-year floodplain. What is shown here in orange that impacts Mr. Richards' property is the 0.2% chance of flooding per year. And that would, if you've converted it to common terminology, would be the 500-year floodplain. And the 500-year floodplain is not regulated and is not considered to be what most people refer to as the floodplain. And with that, I will turn it back over to Engineer Robertson to summarize our recommendation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ramsey. And if okay with you, Commissioner Boyce, I'll summarize this report and say that I recommend that the project proceed to detailed design, including plans, cost estimate, bidding schedule, construction timeline, and calculation of assessments. This watershed is in the larger watershed of the state national scenic river known as Big Darby Creek. As such, If you approve this project to move forward, we will continue to work with interested parties and other agencies to protect this natural resource as we finalize the design. Similarly, we will continue working with the petitioners, Braun Township, and property owners in the watershed as well. After hearing testimony from others today, if you are inclined to proceed to the next stages of the project, then we will work with Clerk Lang on writing and presenting the corresponding resolution for your consideration of approval at the June 29th general session. If you approve this project to move forward, there will be additional opportunities for you all to stop the project if you see fit before construction begins. Thank you.
Mr. Engineer, before you proceed here, just a quick question. So who pays for the preliminary evaluation cost? I mean, I know ultimately it's built into the assessment, but currently do we pay for that up front, essentially? And also how much is that?
Jim Ramsey, if you could take that question, please.
Sure. So ultimately, the code does provide an option, Commissioner Boyce, for you to have the auditor provide extra funding to the engineer's office to do that. But since we have the unique situation where you have the drainage engineer's office that you fund, it is our intention that we would initially pay for that out of the drainage engineer's funding that you already provide.
And is that then added to the assessment down the road, or is that just something, a cost that the county just absorbs?
I have included it in the assessment.
Jim, you're going out, your microphone went out. Can you repeat that?
I have included that in the estimate of things that will be passed to the assessment, but there would not be anything stopping Engineer Robertson or you all from deciding to not include it in the assessment and just have us pay for that cost.
But that's not typical.
It is not typical. Most counties don't have a county drainage engineer's office, and so it is just the county engineer who has funding for roads and bridges and doesn't have funding for this. So typically, it would absolutely be passed on with the assessment.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Please proceed. Unless there are other questions from my colleagues. All right. Please proceed.
Thank you, Commissioner. Gentlemen, was that the conclusion of your presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. So next, before we begin, I just want to kindly remind those of you that have requested to speak that this is a public meeting. It is being recorded. We kindly ask that you maintain the same level of decorum as if we were meeting in person. I do take public meeting speaker requests in the order received before opening up the floor to those that are in attendance that would also like to speak. First, I received, and one quick side note, we also will administer the oath and kindly ask that you state your name and your address before addressing the Board of Commissioners. The first
Clerk Hinderling, before you proceed, how many speaker slips do we have?
I have 6 this morning, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. The first speaker request slip I received was from Donna Miller. Donna, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can, thank you. Before you proceed, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and address before proceeding.
My name is Donna Miller, and I own and occupy the house at 1089 Cole Road, which is where the pipe runs east to west from Cole Road over to Mr. Richards' property.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time today, Commissioners. If the county decides to proceed with the proposed plan of digging up my yard to upsize this pipe, there are many damages that I will incur. Financially, the value of my property will be reduced significantly because almost 1/2 of the property will not be able to be used by me or any future property owners. No structures can be constructed over the pipe like a fence without constant fear of having this destroyed when the county wants to perform maintenance on this pipe. I will also lose probably 3 mature trees on this half of the yard. These trees provide shade, reducing utility bills, and also provide aesthetic value. Additionally, given the age of my house, digging anywhere near the foundation increases the risk of structural damage to the house, which could further reduce the value. Emotionally, this will take a toll on me as well. I have had many sleepless nights since hearing of this issue. I have been physically ill from the stress, and I will have to watch the destruction of my yard. My fence will have to be removed, and I will be forced to walk my dogs every day. All of us who live in this neighborhood hear the yipping of coyotes every night. When the county removes my fence for replacement of this pipe, I will be forced to walk my dogs with exposure to the coyotes. I purchased this property in 2017 after spending a year being bullied by a neighbor at my last residence. My former neighbor didn't like that I was fostering a pit bull from the Franklin County Dog Shelter, where I'm an active volunteer. After living in this very stressful environment, I decided to sell my house and begin a search for a larger piece of property. I was looking for a property where I could install a 6-foot privacy fence so my dogs and I could live in peace. I found the property on Cole Road and immediately fell in love with the yard. It was peaceful and I felt like I could finally get some rest in my home. The house needed lots of cosmetic updates and maintenance improvements, but I was willing to invest in these improvements to have some peace in my home. I have spent $85,000 improving the house, of which $10,000 was for the privacy fence. During the purchase process, the title company had the property surveyed and there were no encumbrances on the property, such as easements or encroachments that would have prevented me from using the property as I intended. Additionally, I had a more thorough survey completed prior to having the fence installed, and this survey also did not indicate any encumbrances. I placed a deposit on the fence prior to closing on my house and scheduled the fence installation for the day after closing. That's how important this was to me. I'm asking the commissioners to vote against this petition for all of us in the neighborhood who will be impacted. Many of us will have our properties destroyed and then have to pay the county for this destruction in the form of taxation. The proposed solution doesn't seem a reasonable benefit for the community, since it really only provides a benefit to one homeowner. Thank you.
You're on mute, Dean.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm following my own rules. Commissioners, did you have any questions before we proceed? Thank you. Next, we have Thomas and Gretchen Hoover. Are either in attendance?
Yes, I am here.
Hello, are you, I'm sorry, before you proceed, are you Gretchen Hoover?
I'm Gretchen Hoover, yes.
And will your husband be speaking also?
No, we have compiled this together.
Okay. Ms. Hoover, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
And if you could state your name and address, please.
I'm Gretchen Hoover. I live at 1099 Cole Road. As a homeowner residing on Cole Road, I was concerned that the videos and the pictures really didn't show true representation, what transpires during a normal thunder shower. The amount of rain on that particular day was unusual and isolated. Such watershed problems would have occurred anywhere under such circumstances. What wasn't revealed was the fact that what we witnessed was a clearing of the standing water with the present drainage system within a 2 to 3 hour period. Other things that were not revealed in the pictures and videos involve the true source of the water problem on Greg's property. One can see that our property, as well as most properties on Cole Road, sit at a lower elevation than the properties on the east side of Gulfview Place. This means that the surface water would have had to travel uphill in order to get to Greg's property. This leaves open the possibility that the surface water on Greg's property came from Feder Road and down onto Gulfview Place. We also, concerning the golf course, what wasn't revealed in the videos is the known low spot at fairway number 7. Therefore, pooling was inevitable, particularly given the unusual amount of rainfall that occurred that day. Again, what wasn't shown was the rather quick resolution of the pooled water within the 2-3 hour period with the present drainage system. As a citizen residing in the Gulfview watershed, I am concerned about the impact of such a project on multiple members of my local community. I would like to know if Greg was notified that he was installing a pool in a known flood zone. What has Greg done to mitigate the problem on his property? I believe that the Franklin County has a stormwater drainage manual that helps individuals address such control storm water. And I'd also like to know what the golf owners have tried. We see the golf course daily and note that there are a few times that water on the 7th fairway alone keeps golfers from using the course. Have the owners considered lift stations or water diversion tactics? Finally, why have the County of Engineers only presented us with one options? Seems that this is a project that improves the lives of two, yet may negatively impact the families in my community. In conclusion, we believe that we have not been given a true and honest picture of the watershed problem. Videos were taken during an isolated and unusual downpour and failed to reveal the true source of Greg's problem, nor did they document the quick resolution of the pooled water with our present drainage system. Both Greg and the golf course have not shared what they have done to mitigate the problem within the confines of their property. We have only been given one option to improve the future drainage options or issues by the county engineers. On a personal note, as retired individuals living on a fixed income, we are now asked to help pay for a costly new drainage system. While we believe that the present drainage system works well under normal circumstances and therefore will not solve Greg's problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time this morning. Next, we have Greg and Ramona Richards.
Hi, this is Ramona Richards, and I'll be speaking today on behalf of Greg and I who filed the petition.
Thank you, Ramona. Before you begin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your address before beginning, please.
Yes, we live at 1111 Golfview Place in Galloway.
Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank the Board of County Commissioners and the County Engineer's Office for considering our petition. We filed the petition because after building our home and living here for 5 years, we've had several heavy rain events that have caused our drains to back up into our yard, causing our yard to flood. Thankfully, our basement has never flooded, but our 2 sump pumps run a lot when it rains. The flooding has affected not only our property, but others in the project area, and we received a total of 6 signatures, including the Thornapple Golf Course, in favor of filing the petition. We would not have purchased this land had it been disclosed to us by the previous landowner that the property flooded. We thought we were getting a good deal because an acre of land was selling for about $75,000 at the time, and we got the land for $38,500. We never had to purchase flood insurance because we were never informed we were in a floodplain. And after purchasing the land and in the year that we were building, the property did not flood. But now here we are. And after filing the petition, we believe this project will benefit all of us in that the pipes are old and were never designed to handle the amount of water that is flowing through the 22-acre watershed. And when the Golfview subdivision was built, we understand they did not upgrade the drainage system, causing the backups and standing water that we're seeing today. While the flooding is of major concern, we're equally as concerned about how we sell our home in the future if this issue is left unresolved. And as property owners, we have an obligation to disclose this to future buyers. And frankly, we would not be the ones filing this petition had the property not been sold to us in the first place. We built our home with the intention of retiring here, but if the flooding isn't resolved, then how can we possibly stay here knowing that with each heavy rain, our yard, our basement, our swimming pool could potentially flood? However, we do strongly believe that at some point, a portion of the drainage system will fail or bust, and it will create damage to someone's property, whether it's a sinkhole or flooding someone else's yard. As a homeowner, we are also very concerned about our taxes going up to pay for this project. We're told that it should be minimal and spread out over a 15-year assessment period, so I'm hopeful that it won't pose too much of a tax burden. We strongly believe this project will benefit those within the watershed, and thank you very much for your consideration and for letting me speak today.
Thank you for your time this morning. Next is Daniel Yarmish of Kemp, Schaefer and Rowe. Mr. Yarmish.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you. Before you proceed, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your address for record, please.
Yes. 88 West Mound Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43215.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, commissioners. My name, as the clerk indicated, is Daniel Yarmish, and I represent Donna Miller, who you previously heard this morning. As Ms. Miller stated, we do oppose this petition, and I'd like to start out by asking the commissioners to put themselves in Ms. Miller's shoes. Your neighbor comes to you. He built his house about 5 years ago and built a nice swimming pool, a nice house. And unfortunately, during a torrential downpour, experienced some flooding that damaged the swimming pool. Not his house, mind you, just a swimming pool. So I'm sure you would, share, sorrow with him and express consolation and ask him what he's going to do to ameliorate the situation. Is he going to regrade the property, install a different type of pool that is water resistant? No, he says, he is going to ask the county to dig up your yard, tear down your fence, and charge you approximately $300,000 for the benefit of him not having his pool flood again. Now, I understand the Richards problem. I sympathize with them, but they do have legal remedies outside of asking their neighbors to pay for this improvement to their property. They could, if the seller failed to disclose material information, there are causes of action you could bring: breach of contract, fraud, etc. I don't represent them, obviously, but those are just things I'm sure they've consulted with an attorney about them. My point is, this is not the only solution to their problem, and there are other solutions that are much more cost effective, at least as it concerns their neighbors. Another thing I'd like to bring to the commissioner's attention is the fact that there is no east to west easement across Ms. Miller's property. I listened to Mr. Ramsey's presentation, and as he indicated, the county intends to go between Ms. Miller's property and her southerly neighbor in order to install this new drainage pipe. There, to the best of my knowledge, and the county has produced no easement to the contrary, there is no east-west easement across Ms. Miller's property. In fact, in consulting with Paul Feast, who represents the county, he produced to me an easement going across the Hoover's property. You've heard the Hoovers speak today. The Hoovers are Ms. Miller's neighbor to the north. So to the extent this drainage pipe is in the completely wrong area, it's on the southern side of Ms. Miller's property, not in her northern neighbor's yard. It seems to me that there is no legal justification for digging up her yard, tearing down her fence to install a drainage pipe where there is no easement. I realize there are other speakers today, and I'll keep my comments brief. I would just ask the commissioners to think carefully and reject this petition because it benefits just the Richards at the substantial cost of all of their neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yarmish.
President Boyce, can I ask a question? And
Yes, please, Commissioner Tyler Lee.
I'm not sure who it's for, maybe for the Richards, Ms. Richards, but to Mr. Yarmish's point, have there been other remediation attempts prior to the filing of the petition?
Hi, I'm going to let my husband speak to that. I know he's spoken to Jim Ramsey and others within the county. Greg, are you able to answer that?
Yeah, I'm here. Do I need to be sworn in?
Thank you, Mr. Richards. You do. Before speaking, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Proceed.
Can you ask the question again, please, Ms. Tyler Lee?
Sure. I was just wondering if any other attempts to remediate the property have been made prior to filing the petition.
Yes and no. We have tried to come up with a different way to get rid of the water problem that happens after every heavy rain. It's a process that, how can I say this, would be even more labor intensive to dig up the pool and everything like that. When we built the house, the county septic system people wanted me to, I had to repair the pipe going across my yard to put my septic system in. So the drainage in on my property is a lot bigger pipe than that was already there. So I did provide, you know, a better pipe for the water to go across my property at that time. You know, I was never told that there was going to be a water issue when we built the house. And, you know, I put the swimming pool in a spot to where it was away from the drainage. And I didn't think there was going to be any issues with water at all going across my property.
Thank you.
If I may add on to that answer and answer another question as well. One of the questions and one of the comments was Greg notified during the approval process, and there was a significant amount of discussion that went on whenever this was coming through for zoning approval to build the house. Much of that discussion was between Franklin County entities and the builder of the home. I think Greg was a very minor part of that, but part of that discussion involved around replacing and moving one of the pipes to allow for the house and the grading, so that if you notice in the videos and the pictures how that water is traveling down through a swale and that. So basically the lot was designed and graded with those swales so that when water did overflow, it would be able to pass through those swales as much as possible. And the pipes that, not the mainline pipe, but the pipes that come down, the pipe that comes from Gulfview was replaced. So there were some things that were done that between us and the builder that Mr. Richards was, I'm sure, aware of on the outside, but they were discussed and done. With the pipe being undersized compared to the other pipes that come into it, there's a limited amount you can do without having the right size pipe there. So I'll stop there until we finish up and go back through Engineer Robertson.
Thank you.
Can I also say one more thing, please? This is Greg Richards again.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. The other lady spoke about, you know, the rain that happened that one time a few years ago being an isolated incident, but just this past Mother's Day, it rained all day long, and I submitted pictures and video of the catch basins overflowing on my property, and it was just this past May. So it happens more often than not.
Thank you, Mr. Richards. Our next, second to last speaker slip that was received is for Kimberly Grimm.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Kimberly. Are you able to start your video?
I can't. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
Okay. Before you begin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
And if you could just state your full name and address for record, please.
Kimberly Grimm, 6810 Hardwood. I'm the direct neighbor behind Greg.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess first I just want to state that I've been saying this at every meeting, that parcel of land sat vacant through two neighborhoods being built. It originally belonged to our parcel of land. It was sold 2 owners ago. The person who purchased it, I guess, bought it for $25,000. Greg purchased it from that gentleman for $38,500. According to their own words, that land went for $75,000. An acre of land in this area goes for $75,000. They purchased it for $38,500. I'm wondering, at what point did anybody stop and say, why is this so cheap? So I'm going to go ahead with the premise that Greg and his wife did not know what they were buying, and that the person realized what they had, unloaded it off on some unsuspecting people. They build their house. The house is fine. Greg stated in the last meeting, he has had no water damage in his house at all, that his house was, has not been affected. When I talked to him after the first meeting, it was his pool that was affected. He showed me some very upsetting, alarming videos of the liner of his pool wrinkling up. That is very upsetting. Pools cost about $50,000 to put in. That's a big investment. But that's an investment that Greg and his wife made. My question is who was your pool builder? Why didn't your pool builder notice that you were in a flood zone? At what point did you realize that? I was told that by Greg that he spoke to the owner of the field that is to the west of us, Mike had told him, he asked Mike if he could run the water pipes or, run some kind of drainage into his field, and was told no by Mike. My question is, did he talk to Mike before his pool or after his pool was built? The point I'm trying to get to is, when did Greg and his wife know that they were in a floodplain? If you know you're in a floodplain, why would you put in a built-in swimming pool? The home is not an issue. I believe in helping everybody out. And if it was his home and he was unbeknownst to him to purchase that land and build his dream retirement home, I would never begrudge anybody of that. And I would, my heart would go out to him, and I would be inclined to say, yeah, okay, we could possibly look at some kind of remediation. But when I asked him if he would have purchased the land if he had known, or if he would have put a built-in swimming pool or above ground swimming pool if he had known the land was a flood zone, his answer to me was, if I had known that, I wouldn't have purchased the land at all, because he wanted the house and the pool for his retirement, an in-ground pool, not an above ground pool. If he had an above ground pool, this wouldn't even be an issue. The once and so often water rushing, surface water, not groundwater, rushing past his on his lot would not affect an above ground pool. And it would be free to keep moving and absorb into the ground. So his answer was, it comes back every time to the swimming pool. Donna's house is going to be, rendered harmed. I mean, she's put $85,000 into her home. This home means a lot to her. I see her out there with her dogs. It's important to her. But his pool was more important. Instead of putting in an in-ground pool, above ground pool, we put an in-ground pool, which causes problems with the drainage. Then, as I'm also looking at our maps, the people on the north side of Hardwood, we are really not affected. We don't really contribute to that. If anything, my yard, the way it runs, actually keeps water from going into his yard. It does go down, but there's a low point where it collects in my yard for a brief moment and then dissipates. As I watch that video of the water pouring down Golf View, not Hardwood, Golf View, my yard is not contributing to that. My neighbors' yards are not contributing to that. All the people on the north side of Hardwood are being asked, to front the cost of this, where I don't see on the map and the physical videos where we are actually contributing to this. So once again, I feel for Greg, and I understand that. But to keep your built-in pool at the expense of everybody else around you is just not acceptable to me. I don't have a built-in pool. I've got a above ground pool, which I'm sure Greg would not accept. But it's not impeding on anybody, and it's not asking anybody to pay for it. So, my conclusion is that it's all about the pool. If the pool had not been there, we would not be having this issue. I'm sorry that he purchased a piece of property that he was, hoodwinked into. But when he found that out, he should have come up for another way, another means to build his luxury item that would not cause harm to him or his neighbors. And that's all.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
This is Greg Richards. Can I comment about that,
Mr.
please?
Richards, actually, we're going to go ahead and finish with our properly filed
Okay.
speakers, if you don't mind, sir.
No problem.
Thank you. Last, we have Terry Bennett. Is Terry on the line? Terry, I cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Yes, I needed to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can, thank you.
All right, Terry, before we begin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your name and address of record, please.
Sure. My name is Terry Bennett. My address is 6790 Hardwood Drive.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me today, and thank you for hearing our comments. I would just echo many of the sentiments that my neighbors have shared. I've lived at Hardwood Drive for 2 years. I purchased my home here, like Donna, for the aesthetics of the neighborhood, the mature trees, the privacy fence to accommodate my animals, which I also serve as a foster dog parent for my community. And so it's very important for me for that to be uninterrupted so that I can provide that service to the community. As we've been hearing the petition and attending the different meetings, my biggest concern with the solution is that we've been presented one solution to remedy this problem without extensive benefits to those surrounding. As we look at the possibilities, as a member of the community, I would ask that
Ms. Bennett, it looks as if you have lost audio. Can you hear me? Terry, we cannot hear you. Terry, it looks like the line that you were called in on has been disconnected, but your video is still active.
Sorry about that. I got a call that came in and interrupted because I was dialed in. So I'm sorry, I'm not sure where we left off, but my main point here is that I would like to see alternative solutions and potential remediation of alternative solutions, such as digging a ditch, potentially rerouting the water issue from the golf course into a creek or pond at the golf course, or even potentially using Federal Road as an alternative rather than disrupting our community. Echoing some of what Ms. Grimm and Ms. Miller had shared, at some point, there should be homeowner responsibility versus community responsibility. And I don't think that there's been sufficient evidence to show that the homeowners filing this petition have done the necessary requirements to self-remediate and are asking the community to bear the burden without the same advantages. So thank you for our consideration today. We appreciate your time in hearing us, and we look forward to hearing your responses.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, that is the last of the officially filed speaker slips that I have received as of this morning.
Right, at this time, I think what we'd like to do is offer the engineer staff to kind of respond to some of these questions, allegations, statements have been made. In particular, if you, Jim, if you could follow, or Engineer Robertson, if you could follow, I mean, one, can you talk a little bit about what the state law allows for and where, when, because remember, I want to say, first of all, let me say to all of our speakers today, thank you so much for coming and testifying. We do value and appreciate your input, and we want to do our best to have all the information we can and make a decision that's in the best interest of the broader and general public. That being said, Jim and Engineer Robertson, if you can talk somewhat about and I know Commissioner Tyler Lee has to drop off here shortly. So we've got just a real brief amount of window before she's got to go. But if you could just kind of talk about the state law and what's required and why the engineer would put the proposal forward, and kind of what the parameters are with regards to that requirement.
Jim Ramsey, if you would, and I'll add in as needed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Certainly under Ohio Revised Code 6131, any property owner in Ohio can file a ditch petition. Much of what we had to do here is understandable concern about Mr. Richards building his home, and then everybody having to help pay for the improvements. Is that correct? And so the Ohio Revised Code does address that through the petition ditch law, and it basically says that anybody who benefits participates in the petition and participates in the payment. And let me explain what I think is the rationale behind that. So it's not uncommon in a watershed, small watershed like this one, to have some properties affected by flooding or drainage problems and others who contribute water there not flooded or having drainage problems, because just the way the watershed is, the houses that are higher up, they're sending water down, but it's a few of the properties that suffer the consequences. And so in Ohio, through the ditch petition law, it provides a way for homeowners to do that and to share the costs among everybody who contributes water to that system. And in the case of Mr. Richards, if you say, okay, should he pay the cost of this because he gained the benefit of getting a good price on his lot, building his home there, I believe there's some room for that in the assessment to adjust the assessment based on benefit to that home, and particularly based on improved home value. And I would think if we ultimately get to that point, if you approve it, that Mr. Richards is probably going to be paying more on a per acre basis. But let me ask it this way. So the watershed is basically 22 acres. Mr. Richards owns 1 acre. So is Mr. Richards owning 1 acre supposed to be required to build a drainage improvement that's going to serve 22 acres? And I believe that's the part that the law is trying to avoid, and saying, that cost should be shared by everybody who contributes water to it. And it's a difficult process to do that and to get through this. So why it's a public process. So has that answered your question, Commissioner Boyce, on that point?
It does, and if I may, first follow-up question, what is typically so it just really is that it takes one landowner to file the ditch petition, and there is no process for other homeowners to either join the petition. I know this is the public process, but they don't have a requirement of percentage of people affected.
There's not a requirement of a percentage of people, but I think it's important to point out here that Mr. Richards did initiate this, but 5 other property owners have signed it as well. So you have 6 out of 22 property owners signing the petitioning you for an improvement. And of the 22 properties, I believe 21 of them probably have homes on them that have home sewage treatment systems that are discharging ultimately to the storm sewer system, because they discharge, and so they all serve. So one of the speakers mentioned, Mrs. Richards, I believe, that she thinks that at some point other parts of the system will fail and cause other problems. And I share that belief, that if we don't fix it now, there probably will be other failures later. And then you'll have people's home sewage treatment systems not draining properly and causing problems with that. And that's a primary concern in our recommendation to do that. But it could be just one, and then it's up to you as the commissioners to decide if the process makes sense, or if it makes sense to build it based on that. And it's not a vote among the property owners, it's a vote amongst the 3 commissioners.
And just to be clear, what we're voting on today would be to go to the next step of evaluation, of sort of the official evaluation and architecture and engineering of the site, to deeper understand the full costs and the work, correct?
Right.
So there's still a chance to stop after we have that sort of detailed evaluation information.
That is correct.
Let me open it up. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
If I may add, I just want to make sure we understand that by moving forward on this, there is a cost related to that step. And so as you make this decision, there is a cost connected to it, just even at this stage. But that cost, if you don't move forward, would be assessed only to the county, not to the petition.
Thank you for that clarification, Assistant Prosecutor Hummer. Are there questions from my colleagues? Commissioner Tyler Lee, Commissioner O'Grady?
What is that cost to move to the next phase? I'm sorry if I missed that.
Probably a Jim
We
question.
have estimated that cost for design. We've got survey, design, and administration all in one cost, and we estimated that at $30,000.
Thank you.
Commissioner O'Grady, did you have a question?
Construction.
I didn't hear the question, Commissioner Grady.
What about construction, Jim?
Construction estimate was $202,000.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
$202,000 was the construction part of the assessment, and then there's a contingency of $30,000.
So the whole project, scoop to nuts, is roughly $250,000,
$272.
272.
Mr. Clerk, how do we proceed? What's
Commissioner Boyce, I want to recognize that we are required to open the floor to those that may be in attendance that may wish to offer additional comments. I would kindly ask, for the sake of everyone's time and efforts, that if anyone else does have a public comment to offer, that they not be repetitive in nature. If someone has something new to add, I'm happy to recognize them before the commissioners proceed.
Yeah, this is Greg Richards. Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay. My neighbor Kim stated that I'm in a floodplain. I am not in a floodplain. That was stated earlier. And she made a comment about, I'm only concerned about my pool flooding. That is not true. My house hasn't flooded yet. You know, who's to say that it will? All it's going to take is another heavy rain, and then my whole yard floods, and then it gets into my house. So my major concern is about my house. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richards.
Mr. Clerk, this is Joe Martin. I'd like to make comments if I may.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Before you proceed, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could state your address of record, please.
My address is 8601 Morris, Morris Road, Hilliard, Ohio, 43026.
Thank you. Again, I would just kindly ask that you not be repetitive in nature for the commissioners.
I will do my best.
Thank you, sir.
I am a Brown Township trustee. However, I'll be representing myself and my own opinion here. This issue has been something that's been going on for some time. The Franklin County Auditor's Office has a map that will show that the back part of Mr. Richardson property is in a floodplain, evidence that there was knowledge there. Also, there has been some discussion between Mr. Richards and my fellow trustee, Gary Deaver, about this very issue. I believe it may have been 5 years ago at the time that he was contemplating building, or maybe shortly after he built and discovered that there was a water problem. The enlargement of the pipe on his property certainly would not have corrected anything. There is a section of pipe from his property to the drain outlet that does need to be upsized in order to carry the additional water that's being created by the non-pervious surfaces that were created by his construction. The good thing is throughout this process, the Franklin County engineer has revealed that the landowner that owns that property to the west is willing to allow work to be done on that drain tile to be enlarged. So it's my opinion that the burden of cost still lies with Mr. Richardson, and that the neighbor to his west being willing to allow that construction does provide Mr. Richardson with remedy without the neighborhood burdening the cost of this construction.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Martin. I appreciate it. Before proceeding, is there anyone else from the public that wish to address the Board of Commissioners? Seeing none, Commissioner, we have an open proposed resolution for consideration. And again, that is to consider the initial feasibility of the improvement of the Gulfview Ditch petition. And I think, as Mr. Ramsey noted, there is a cost associated with that of approximately $30,000. So although I'm not asking for an official vote on the overall project, I do need an indication as to whether or not you would like the engineer's office to proceed with design and review of this further.
Clerk Hinderling, do we do that in the form of a motion, or do we just need to just vote on moving forward?
It really is just your indication to the engineer's office. The resolution itself is a way for the engineer's office to bring the consideration before you.
I got you. I got you.
So
I guess I'll start then. Dawn, Commissioner Tylerley, do you want to start since you've got to go? I know you're on a tight time. I can let you go first.
Thank you, President Boyce. My apologies. There's some work being done at my house right now. It's very loud, so moving. I'm very torn. I do hear the challenges that the Richards family is experiencing. I also hear the concerns of the neighbors. I'm not convinced that other methods to solve the problem have been fully identified. But I am interested in what additional information the planning process might yield. And so because this is not the final step in the process, I am willing to support the resolution so that additional information can be gathered before a final decision is made.
Thank you. Commissioner Grady, would you like to go next?
I think it's important for us to continue to, for the engineer's office to continue to move. You know, I think that I agree with Commissioner Tyler Lee. I think there's likely to need to be other avenues for how to remedy this situation. There's clearly a water issue in this area. I'm familiar enough with this area to know that. I grew up in the area, know people who grew up in the area, and I've played the golf course many, many times. So I do know there's a water issue in the area. How this gets paid for, I think is an ongoing question that we need to continue to discuss.
Thank you, Commissioner Grady. I'll just say I'm going to agree with my colleagues, both yes, in moving forward. There's just a couple issues I want to point out. One, we are operating in the purview of state law. It was mentioned the Ohio Revised Code allows for this process to occur simply for this issue. And this is the process that we are given by the Ohio General Assembly. And so Mr. Richards is within his right to file the petition and for the evaluation to occur. Secondly, we are at the mercy of the technical information provided to us by the engineer. And it's so critical that we as commissioners are at the mercy of the technical information. And when it's Mr. Ramsey or Mr. Robinson that indicates that the potential of the area to be affected long-term, it's something that we have to think about today because we're thinking of safety issues, we're thinking of value issues, we're thinking of issues that could require a greater cost should we neglect this action. And so it's really important to us to absorb the technical information provided to us by the engineer. And then finally, as Commissioner Tyler Lee indicated, this isn't the last step. This is a part of the process that would allow us to fully understand the depth of the impact and what that means, costs and so forth. And so with that, I'm also taking the position of yes to move forward.
Thank you, commissioners. At this point, the engineer's office and I will work together to put forward a resolution for the actual design, the review and design of the plan, should you choose to proceed. And again, I want to be abundantly clear, that is not what the resolution before you is considering. This is the initial feasibility. And with that, I would ask for a motion on resolution 49421.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move approval of resolution 49421.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 49421 has been adopted. And again, I will work with the county engineer's office to put forward a resolution in the coming week or two.
And I would also add, Clerk Kinderling, we want to invite all of the residents to continue to engage and talk to us. So when you come back, I'm hoping that you'll be there again. We do value and appreciate hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I believe that concludes our hearing.
Great. Thank you.
And do we need to do anything else with regards to session? Is that we're pretty much?
It's up to your discretion whether or not you take questions from the media, but I have nothing else for you, Commissioner.
I can't imagine he's still on.
Is there anyone from the media that would like to ask questions about our general session or any others? Okay, seeing that there are none, thank you so much, everyone. That concludes our meeting.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.